never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy. We must be cautious.
All right, everybody. Welcome to episode 22 of the Weekly Rogues Gallery. I'm your host, Iron Oxide. We're starting a little bit late, but you know, it's a holiday weekend, so I don't think anybody can fault us for that. Here, we're all just kind of trying to survive, as it were. Me especially. Went to Blink-182 show the night before last.
Yep.
And I'd been fighting what I thought was a sinus infection. Now it's just turned into full-blown COVIDs or something pretty nasty. So I'll try to make it. But joined here with me, as always, is my co-host. Well, he was just there a second ago. No, he's back. Professor Savage Dad. How's it going, man?
I'm not going anywhere. It's been a slow but kind of crap day. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad that the weekend has begun. I'm glad that I need to move my mic away so I stop peeking it. Not trying to keep everybody here all day. But yeah, great topics tonight. It's really going to be a good show. We've got CommonNerd, a man who has felt my ass more than once. There he is. There he is.
Point at him.
Hell yeah.
Still not him. There he is.
This man has a firm ass shake. He really, he's got a good, strong grip. I'll give him that.
Rugged.
What's up?
I'll give him
that. It is very.
But yeah, speaking of, we do have a very special guest making his first appearance. Still not the right direction, Pro.
Miserable.
It's that
Absolutely
way.
miserable.
There it is.
That
Absolutely
way.
miserable.
Other way.
I just want to put out there too.
Yeah.
That being said, I'm a fair judge of fellowship ass. 70s rock fan has the firmest ass of anyone in the fellowship that I have to grab. So I'm putting out there as a challenge to absolutely everyone. Ladies, gentlemen, I don't care. I want to see squats out of all of you for the next year. So next year I can be the judge of the great solid ass competition of the fellowship. Do not get beat by 70s rock fan. That man is like 150 years old and he has the firmest ass in the fellowship. This is bullshit. Y'all need to step up your damn game.
Yep.
On a
Start
totally
hitting them
unrelated
squats,
note,
boys.
on a totally unrelated note, I'm gonna start up a pool on when the next SA accusation goes out.
Gotcha.
Who we betting on?
It's got to
Let us know if
be
you want
our
it.
special guest. Common Nerd all the way.
Yeah.
You're the
Common
first one to
Nerd.
get me too'd from the fellowship if I were to
Challenge
guess.
accepted.
Technically,
Best
you
part
can
about
For me.
you can get your squats in by eating more Taco Bell.
Oh, and it works as a diuretic, so you'll lose weight at the same time.
It does.
Win-win.
Goes
Win-win.
right through you.
Win-win.
How high is your pain tolerance?
You got to buy me a drink first.
1 second there. Now, Jesse, Common Nerd, I'm really glad to have you on the show, man. I've been wanting to get you on since I have pretty much started this because, like you, Dermy, and just a few of the guys that I'd started watching really were the biggest inspiration to even getting going, doing all this. So, big round of applause for Common Nerd. If my button's working.
Button is working. Button is go. Yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize for that. I apologize to all the viewers out there that you have to suffer through iron oxide and the rest of this bang of miscreants every Friday.
Mhm.
You're welcome. You're welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome.
It's all your fault, actually. But how was your 4th of July weekend, man?
Dude, we went, 4th of July day. The weekend's just now started. We've got a hurricane coming on Sunday. I'm super excited about that. Cannot wait for hurricane time. Always a good time. Went and stocked up on some stuff over there. But 4th of July yesterday was a good time. We went out there and cooked a bunch of stuff and ate a bunch of food and set off a bunch of illegal fireworks within city limits. I didn't say that. Did I say that out loud? Yes, Bubbles. Didn't hear anything.
They were talking about the weather.
We're talking about the weather because we got a big storm coming on Monday. This is a family show if you guys didn't know.
A storm was scary.
This happens to me all the
No,
time.
you'll be fine. You can cuddle with your puppies and you can cuddle with your mommy and you'll be fine. It'll be big, lots of rain. It'll be pretty. It'll be cool. It'll be fun. Go see mommy. You're going to get something to drink.
That was the cutest damn thing I've ever seen.
Right? You like that? It was, yeah. It's like this. Like the guys do like, you know, like they do the $5 Fridays to me, which I hide everybody over on my stream. We're totally stream sniping iron oxide from the back end. Giggity. Yes, that I meant that exactly the way I said that. And so this is what happens. I started at 11 a.m. streaming. I'm currently like, what are we at? I'm at 8.5 hours into a stream right now. You know, it's going to be a little slapstick at that kind of point. This is what things are going to kind of end up coming down to. But I have no idea what I said. Oh, yeah, this is what happens. Like, you end up sticking me on a stream for this long, you're bound to end up getting a baby, you know, or a toddler.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes like a 6-foot giant that I have that apparently looks identical to me. He's just got like a foot on me. So, yeah, it's like, so, yeah, it ends up being a family show. I think that's the reason why people are willing to support me because they're like, oh, he really does have kids. I'm like, yeah, they're right here. Like, I go get them from school when the stream's over, you know? It's like,
I just want to mention some phrasing. The way that sounded, it sounded like you were going to put a baby in iron oxide by the end of the show. It's going to be weird.
Who says he's not?
Who says I haven't already? Vegas hasn't been 9 months. This was the last time we saw him standing up. Let's be honest here.
When did that happen?
When Selena was in the bathroom, it doesn't take long.
Right.
Exactly.
No, he's like an alien. Like just comes over and like just injects you with the
remember, remember Voyager with Q? Remember Q was trying to romance Janeway the entire time and it just being a finger touch? And he's like, you missed it out. It could have been amazing. And she's like, that was fucking it. And I'm like, sorry, I missed that. Ooh, my bad.
Yeah, right?
What a tragedy. I thought Earthmen were fast. Holy shit, Q.
Well, let's go around the horn, do some quick introductions before I need to get into the first of tonight's topics. I might have to mute my mic several times throughout the show, so just be prepared for that. Now, Nemesis, what's going on, dude? How was your 4th of July? Did you set anything on fire?
Nah, just hung out with the fam. Mom came into town, just chilled out. It was a pretty relaxing one. Actually, surprisingly enough, there was actually less fireworks this year than there were last year. Normally, my neighborhood's popping off. I think we only had like maybe 1 or 2 people set them off, and usually there's like a stockpile that keeps going all the way into August.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe Bidenomics is just hitting the freaking fireworks market a little bit harder than ever.
Dude, I didn't buy any this year. So yeah, it was expensive. I just spent money on hamburgers.
Yeah, people are having to limit their budgets for sure, man. It didn't really stop people in Vegas though. Last night, we have an app that shows where all the emergency vehicles and what they are, if they're fire trucks, ambulances, or police. And normally that thing is either ambulance or police.
Mm-hmm.
It had like 13 fire truck alerts all over town.
Oh no.
All I have to say about the firework prices things is I'll tell you what, $100 does not go anywhere near as far as what it did when I was a kid when it comes to fireworks. And it doesn't help that like our fireworks, because they're illegal within city limits, there's now a monopoly on them on the outside of city limits. It's all the exact same company that have like all of these stands on the corners of like farmers' properties. Yeah. So it doesn't matter which one you go to. It's all the same price. You know, it's like you go 4th of July, right? You go the day up because why? You expect discounts because people are trying to get rid of shit. No, they don't give a fuck. They'll just throw it back in the warehouse and store it until freaking New Year's. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, I mean, if I wasn't so wrapped up in my music production, I think I would have taken the trip last night. I have so many different directions to go for fireworks. I mean, I'm in the panhandle of Florida, so I can go north to Georgia. I can take a couple hours over to Alabama. But I just been way too busy with my own project. So,
no, you're not too far from me.
Well, Vagabond, I saw your video you put out that 4th of July. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
How was your 4th of July, sir?
It was cool. I ate like a fat ass.
Nice.
So I had that cheeseburger pizza from Papa John's. I recommend it. Get extra sauce. Get extra cheeseburger sauce. It's fucking delicious.
Oh, dude.
And then
to give that a try.
And then what else? I did eat at Taco Bell too, and then I ate at McDonald's in the morning. And then and so I went windows. I went to Bass Pro Shop just seeing if they had any sales. There wasn't really that many. The thing was there wasn't really like that many July 4th sales. So then towards the night, just shot a couple of shots or whatever. Well, I mean, I'll say more than a couple of shots, but fired some shots for the new 4th of July. And nice. I was debating on editing the video. I was shooting King Jong-un, but I don't know. YouTube would flag me for that. So,
yeah, probably.
Just use some Photoshop and face swap him on that picture of Kermit the Frog opening up his puppet hole.
Yeah, but I still might edit the video and just put it on Odyssey instead.
Oh, there you go. Oh, right on. Strider, how was your 4th of July holiday, my man?
It was pretty good. I spent the whole day down in Galveston, just hanging out on the beach all day. It was pretty nice. Yeah, I mean, why not? I was gonna stay till the fireworks came on, but I had a kite that I had bought a few weeks ago, and it's all like stars and stripes colored. So I thought this is perfect. So I set it up and stayed all day, and then I shift my chair over like maybe a millimeter, and it goes. So it flies away, and I tear off after this damn thing. Also, because I don't want it flying into the water. I would feel terrible about that. But it's still unraveling like crazy. I feel like Benjamin Franklin just waiting for the lightning to strike it. The handle is just dragging along the beach, and I'm tearing off like an idiot trying to find it. Man, I'm fast when I want to be. My ass is completely out of shape, but I finally caught it. It took me like 10 minutes to wrap the damn thing up because it was so high up there. But I also busted my knee pretty good. So luckily I had an ice pack, put that on there for about 10 minutes. And then the beach that I was at closed. I'm like, well, fuck it. I'm going to go home because I don't know how much pain I'm going to be because I had to work today. So yeah, I was hoping our resident Brit would be here so he could watch me throw this English tea into a harbor. But I mean, just gonna have to, I don't know, be content with.
Still gonna be? Is he backstage? You there, Jack?
He's not backstage. He's probably going to be watching from his phone. He's having some internet issues tonight, so
Jack, probably come and take it, sir.
He probably only watched the first 5 minutes that we got started, and then it's like, no, I'm out.
Wait, it'd be funny. Like, ain't there like an internet cord like underwater all the way to Europe and stuff from here? Like, maybe someone in like, hey, it's the 4th of July. Let's just shut off the internet over there for a minute.
That would be great. Oh, that would be genius.
Get your own internet cup.
If I was you, I've been thinking let's all fly a kite.
I took off the key, luckily, because we do have storms coming in, so hopefully it's not going to be too bad by the time. I mean, probably, CommonNerd, you're going to get the brunt of it.
Oh yeah, it's going to smack us. It's supposed to smack us right in the face on Sunday. So yeah, I'm super stoked.
I'm enjoying all the peripheral rain it's bringing. So.
Oh yeah,
I'm
expecting a lot of cool weather.
Yeah, I noticed there was a distinct cool breeze coming in off the beach on yesterday. So that's nice. Shit.
So I live literally like 3 blocks off the water. And so I drive down that main drag right down the Laguna Madre to come home. And yeah, dude, that breeze coming off that water, coming off the south it's so cool. I was like, ooh, this is nice. We're in trouble. We're in trouble.
We might be getting rain, but it's still 98 degrees.
Yeah, that's not bad. It's 115 here. I'll take it.
But it's a dry heat.
But it's a dry heat.
Fuck that,
right?
No.
Is that the first words that come out of every newborn born in Arizona and anywhere in the Southwest?
As someone who was born in Phoenix, Arizona, can't confirm.
No, fuck that, dude. Seriously, I can't smoke meat right now. I can't do shit outside. My above ground pool is like a fucking bathtub right now, dude. Like, no, screw that. Galveston, I've been there on the 4th of July. Beautiful, love it. The wind, the cool air blowing in off the freaking Gulf, dude. Man, fuck this shit we got going on here. I'll take that. I don't care how humid it is. The damn wind blows and you cool off. That doesn't happen here.
If there's wind.
There's wind on the bay.
And all it was hot air blowing at me the whole time trying to watch fireworks.
That's the reason why
give me that.
I didn't complain about that at all. Everybody was like, "Oh, it's gonna be so hot, it's gonna be humid." I'm like, "We're right on the water. There is always a breeze, and it literally is 99% of the time. There was always a breeze, and as long as I got a breeze, I'm good. That's all I need."
Yep, exactly, dude. I just need to move the radiant heat off of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're more where Professor's at. It's completely dry, completely hot, and any wind we have just feels like a hairdryer at all times.
And you can only take off so many clothes. Speaking of, did
not that attitude.
Stream elements. I know, right? Hey, I already took my belt off at the start of the stream. We can really.
I thought you were just prepping it in case we got unruly.
Oh, we're starting taking clothes off. I can start working on my pants. I mean, hold on.
You guys start misbehaving here.
I'm not taking off my condom.
Threaten me with a good time. Don't you threaten me with a good time.
We'll end up too.
Oh, I mean, if we get more donos, we'll take off more, I guess.
There you go. Exactly. Wait a minute. Hold on.
He's using the royal weed. I'm still on duty. I can't take this off.
Somebody dropped a $50 dono. These pants are coming out. Start with a shoe to entice you.
But to say that's not a.
Oh my god! It's also YouTube, you know.
I mean,
Rumble only.
Even better.
Good.
Well, speaking of everybody there, checking out the stream, be sure to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. There is the Stream Elements link in there if you are feeling like being generous. Again, completely optional. Let's take a minute, say hi to the chat real quick. We got Drunken Emerald Arrow, one of our other panelists who was here last week. How's it going, man? Let's see who else we got. Madhouse Retro. I found it. Hail all. Hail yourself,
hail.
Buddy.
Hail indeed.
CommonNerd, what's going on, man?
Wait, you're here.
We got Jembone. Hey, dude. Hey, he's another local.
Yeah,
so he knows exactly what we're dealing with, Professor.
Oh, yeah.
Diana Gardner says, no. I know what that's about.
Jim Bones is why I'm still on stream right now. Shout out to Jim Bones.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I've seen you do what? 3 24 hours now just in the last less than 6 months?
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, I did like one in January. I did like another one in like March. And I think I did another one in April. And then I've done several before that. So yeah, they don't ever get as popular as what they used to. It kind of makes me sad. But,
I'll need to get a hold of Hunter Biden's old hookup in order to make a 24-hour stream nowadays.
Right.
If you like loaded up on caffeine and monsters and energy drinks and stuff, I'm like, no, I do this like sober. I'll do like some dabs or something. But everybody's like, you're insane. I'm like,
Go the military route, Rippets and Zen.
Oh God, I miss Rippets. Rippets are amazing. God bless Rippets. Oh, those are yummy.
I'll try to do one here eventually. Like once I hit some big milestone. Before it was 200 on both Rumble or 100 on Rumble and YouTube, and they're not aligning at all. So I have to.
Oh no, they're not going to.
Milestone. Yeah.
To be clear, you mean try out a stream and not Rippets, right?
I did my first 24-hour stream when I hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube the first time and got monetized. I did it in my first 24-hour stream, so that was pretty cool.
Oh, right on. We got LG in the chat. What's going on, dude? Yo,
LG.
Yeah.
Make sure I'm not messing anybody up. Blue-eyed Scorpio. What's up, dude?
What's up, man?
Hey.
Another fine member of the fellowship. Make sure I'm not messing anybody here. I think that covers
Mr. Burger's in chat
here.
Mr. Burger is in chat.
Hey, Mr. Burger. He's actually, we're going to have him on eventually. We're still just working out the details. So looking forward to that one. So we can show some of those new cartoons, talk about the documentary he's got going on. Have you heard about that, Jesse?
Awesome.
Mr. Burger is doing a full documentary on Vito.
It's gonna be good.
Oh, God bless your poor soul, your psyche, your subconscious. Your nightmares will never be the same.
Right.
How much worse could it get? Who knows? We're gonna find out.
Yeah, you just keep pulling back on those layers, and it just gets worse. It's like the rabbit hole you never wanted to go down.
You never want to go down.
No, I leave all that drama and all that other nonsense. I leave that to people like what's his face that's made like a Keemstar and like I leave all that stuff to them. I'm like, I don't want nothing to do with any of that. I was in the military. I've been on the internet since like AOL dial-up days. Like, trust me, I've seen the dark sides of the internet. I don't need to go any farther. I know how fucked up these people are. I don't need to study this shit. Okay?
I was there during the advent of 4chan.
Right? It's like 4chan. Let me tell you about message board, son. Pull up the okay?
IIRC.
AOL chat room. Okay,
bro. I could tell you some stories about AOL chat rooms. Hell yeah, dude. I was there.
About stories of AOL chat rooms with my exes.
I was there, Gandalf, 3,000 years ago.
See,
I'm sure just about all of us are old enough to remember, like, your first internet was dial-up, right?
Oh, yeah.
Check it out, actually.
You had to listen to like 3.5 minutes of it connecting.
Damn it, Vagabond.
See, now that's a punchline. That was a reality for a great many of us, but now it's a punchline. Whenever Gary like shorts out on stream.
I got that one too. Where's that one? Right on.
Well, many of us were in high school when we got our first internet connection, so that was just like your mom heard that coming from your room late at night. They just knew not to open the door.
You see, kids, internet was connected by phone line.
It was a bitch to download music, let me tell you.
Oh yeah,
there was
to download anything.
There was a window for me to hop on BattleNet. It was, I get home from school, give the parents a call, let them know I'm home safe. Then it was from then to where they get home at 5. It was 1 hour and 15 minutes I could play on BattleNet. Made the most of it.
45 minutes later, you actually log on.
Right. So you actually got like a whole 15 minutes of actual playtime just getting everything connected.
What are you talking about? It was like 10 because you also had to get the room together. People would download the maps.
Right.
You get booted because you didn't have the map downloaded.
I was going to say, speaking of things that are so old that they're irrelevant, what about this crap with Tatiana Maslany?
God.
Right, guys.
Well, it's funny you should mention that. Actually, I already got our first topic pulled up here.
That was a hell of a transition, by the way.
I'm still scarred by the freaking
Speaking of transitions.
Don't remind me of this.
So
you turned my boy Daredevil into a bitch. How dare you?
Marvel's She-Hulk star Tatiana Malassi slams Canadian law requiring parental approval for students to change pronouns. It should not be in the control of parents how a child identifies.
Well, we've got
two parents in the. That's a good question. Does anybody know the answer to that? Because I honestly have no idea.
What was the question? I missed it.
Does Miss She-Hulk here, is she a parent herself?
Nope. No. Now, as far as I know, this woman has zero children, because that's one of my favorite things. Is Flash's comment was absolutely great. It was something like "you barren old childless hag" or some shit like that. I had to pull it up on my Twitter account. It was absolutely great, because if you actually watch the clip and listen to this chick, like, this sounds like the same nonsense BS bullshit that we heard out of BO when he was telling high school students that there are certain things you're gonna have to educate your parents on because there's certain things you know about that they don't, right? Okay. Literally, this bitch said that children know themselves. They know how they identify. They understand themselves. We need to listen to them more. These are the same kids that are eating crayons and swallowing Tide Pods.
I knew you'd bring that up.
Okay. These are the same kids. These are the same kids that you don't trust with the right to have a beer or a handgun, but you want to trust them at ages prepubescent to remove living good body parts from themselves.
And let me tell you,
you've lost your damn mind. This chick needs to shut up, because this is the other problem about this. She's like, parents should have no influence over their children. No. The whole point of being a parent is to have influence over your children. There's a reason why the best way of this to work is a functioning household with a 2-parent system. Find a good woman, get married, have kids. That's the easiest way to win the culture war. On top of that, this is the problem with that. That's the whole point. We are the reason why you yanked your kid out of the middle of the road when they're running into the street so they don't hit by a car. Well, the kids should know better. They're smart enough to know. Well, let's go ahead and let them stick a fork in the light socket while we're at it. If they can choose their own gender, why not go ahead and allow them to do that? This is the insanity of this woman. Like, listen to the clip. She's nuts. I went off on this for like 10 minutes on my stream. Well, earlier today on my stream.
Kids today haven't gotten any smarter than kids of yesterday. They're just, like you said, eating Tide Pods and doing other shit. Whereas back in my day, we were shooting Roman candles at each other and using bed sheets as parachutes off the 3rd floor.
That was safer.
Some of us still are.
Yeah.
Well, and what a lot of they're not realizing so much of this shit, especially with the preteen, kids that are in middle school to high school. This is all just it's just a fashion trend, nothing else.
Right.
If anybody that grew up in the 90s had parents like this, we would have our, black fingernail polish and fucking mohawks surgically implanted on us so we could never remove that stupid shit once we grew out of it.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's the same kind of nonsense, because like when I was in middle school, all the girls were bisexual, right? It was the trendy thing to do. Every single one of those girls I knew that was bisexual, guess what? Not a single one of them grew up to be a lesbian. They're all married, have kids, and most of them go to church and put like Bible verses on their Facebook now. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's what this shit is. It's just another social contagion. It's just another trendy thing to jump on to feel accepted, right? Because every one of these, there was one of the girls, I can't remember her name now, but she was on Tim Pool, and she's one of the detransitioners, and she's like, it was the end thing to do. It made you feel accepted. The more issues you had, the more virtue points you got. So the higher on the hierarchy you were, the more people, paid attention to you and felt bad for you and all this other kind of stuff. So it was literally a way to fit in. It's just, this ain't getting a tattoo when you're 16 and being rebellious against your parents or getting a stupid little piercing. This is doing permanent damage to your body, and ignorant people like this, because that's the problem. She's ignorant to the subject. She doesn't actually know what's going on because she doesn't have kids. She doesn't live in this fear. She doesn't see how it affects them. All she does is know what the person next to her in her same little San Francisco bubble says. This woman is the embodiment of the character that they turned She-Hulk into in the Disney Marvel series. She's 40 years old with way too many cats. She's past her prime. She's dried up. Nobody wants her. And she's going to end up spending the rest of her life alone, just like her She-Hulk character, going out and get drunk with her friends every night, praying to God somebody looks at her sideways and is willing enough to buy her French fries so she can take them home and hope to get dick. That's literally what she's got for the rest of her life.
What's crazy is
Congratulations, feminism. This is your end game.
Exactly.
Absolutely. What's so funny though, she could have had her pick of roles by the time Orphan Black ended. She finally won an Emmy. She played like what, a dozen different characters. She could have been like the female Daniel Day-Lewis, for God's sake. And what has she done since then? She's leveraged it into what? Shit like She-Hulk?
Nothing.
And what was she in?
Yeah.
She was in something else cringy and stupid. But like, woman, that's how you know that these people have that she's hit the wall career-wise, because she started to be an activist. It never fails.
She never got to hit the wall career-wise. She did one thing that was good, and I'm going to tell you right now, that was direction and writing. That wasn't her. Her acting, when she doesn't have directing and writing, it's mostly ass. It's contrived. It's just her being herself. And I'm sorry, gentlemen, but if you think that you're going to roll up and buy her some hot wings at the bar one night and get something worth the while, no. The only thing drier than the air in Phoenix is the air between her fucking legs, dude. That thing is falling the fuck out like 20 years ago. I'm sorry. No one comes off as more like dry and just cunty and asinine than her. I fucking hate listening to her. Like anything.
Well, let's listen to her right now then, shall we?
Yes, please. Wow, man, this is great. This is great.
No, I like this. I want to shut off the yellow flag.
Shut the fuck up. Yeah, there it is.
That's so good.
Childless
and Clown World. So let's go ahead
Clown
and start
World.
this from the beginning here. Let me make sure we got audio.
Why does she look like some Western refugee brought home from an Islamist man who beats her?
Virtue signal
She
points.
Probably is. That's true.
The provincial government, they passed the Parental Bill of Rights, so requiring teachers to get parental consent when students want to change their name or pronouns at school. What's your thought on that?
I believe that it's.
Well, first you'd have to be able to think.
Well, and here's my fucking problem to begin with. Why are you asking this fucking actress, who, as far as we know, doesn't have kids, why the fuck does her opinion matter?
Because they're activists, not journalists.
Yep.
Truth.
That's
Where
it.
the hell's Canada?
Well,
Is that like North in America?
Yeah, the thing is, there's people that worship celebrities, so I think that's why they ask celebrities questions like that has nothing to do with their acting or nothing like that. And then too is like how many of us, even after high school, like it still took us a while to figure out and change things. Like even after high school, as an adult, there was things that I was doing that I don't agree with now. And like I used to be a raging leftist, and I made a complete 180. I was the far opposite. I was like, and now I'm like an ANCAP 100%. So,
Amen.
Based. No, I think a lot of us, especially if you grew up in kind of in a city area, and even growing through the school system back in the 90s and early 2000s, a lot of that was already implanted. You had to unlearn that as you started paying bills and
first time I could vote
a normal life.
First time I could vote, it was between what was it, Obama and who was he going? Who was the other guy?
Romney?
No, Romney was the second one.
Obama and McCain. This McCain.
McCain, that's what it was. Yeah, that was the first time I could vote.
Same.
Yeah, and go figure. Two elections where both the candidates were just.
I was
there
fresh
to
out of
lose.
high school. I was going into the military. I didn't want to go straight into a more elongated conflict with Iraq, and Obama was promising the opposite, and I was going into the military post-it. So I was just like, yeah, sure, let's go, Obama. I'm down with it. All my homies are voting for him too. He sounds great. Boy, was I mistaken. I learned real quick where my priorities lied in life.
Same. No, I fell for that shit too because I was anti-war. So 100% my first go around, because so many of the kids I graduated with ended up in that bullshit fucking war that I thought, okay, this is so I was going to go for whoever would end the war. And boy, were we all wrong.
Yeah. Well, and what's funny as shit about that too is the first time I got to vote, it was Bush and Scary Carrie.
Yeah.
And it was funny as shit because I'm a nerd. Okay. If you hadn't tell by the name. Okay. And so I was a big political junkie, even like civics was my favorite class in school. Okay. I'm that kind of nerd. All right. And so I called myself a liberal Republican in high school because I was like, I pretty much agreed with all of like small government and all that kind of stuff. I just wanted weed to be legal because all a lot of my friends smoked pot. Like I wasn't even that big of a pothead, but my friends did. And now I just realize I'm a libertarian, and yeah, I'm on with Vagabundo now. I'm like basically ANCAP at this point. But it's one of those situations where it's like, it's so funny because it was like, everybody, so many people fell for the lie of Obama, of anti-war and all of this BS with the Democrats, and it had always been like this and everything else. And it was so funny because he ended up making it 10 times worse, and all he did was shift from Iraq to Afghanistan, is literally all he did. And one of the things that boggled my mind is, while I was in the military, like while you're active duty, the idea, if you look historically, why anybody active duty military would ever vote for a fucking Democrat boggles my mind, because every time, with the exception, well, not even in the 90s, we had a lot of base closures and a lot of like BRAC and all that kind of shit. But like, even in the 90s, we had a Republican legislature, so we were still getting plenty of money. But every time a Democrat comes into office, the first fucking thing they do is cut the budget on the military. When I was in, we went from having to do what we already did, our job that we were barely scraping by getting it done, to half the resources now being expected to cover Iraq and all of Afghanistan and doing the same thing. And that was all under fucking Obama. And I had people argue with me in my shop for that guy while that shit was going on. And I literally, just blood was shooting out of my eyes. It just boggled my fucking mind.
Bearded lizard on them.
Mm-hmm. No, my first vote was for Obama during the McCain. Then I didn't vote at all for the second one, and then it was after that I started actively voting. And you can probably all tell which direction I've been going in ever since.
Like for me, like even
not
when
the same way she's voting.
Even when I could vote, I didn't vote at all. I was like, okay, I'm not. I don't believe in elections. So what changed my mind was when Biden ran against Trump and he put Kamala Harris on the ballot. I said, "Oh hell no!" Like I grew. I know her because I'm originally from California. I'm like, "Oh hell no!" I don't know if my vote counts, but I'm voting against her.
So, those are the Californians Texas wants, by the way.
Yeah, so I was like, oh hell no. So that's as soon as he made that announcement, I registered the vote the next day.
Dude, I've been voting. Let's see, I've been voting since I didn't vote in Bush Gore above the proposition lines. I just
you're old.
Like politicians. Oh yeah, guy. I graduated in 2000. 2000, the original 2000. Yep. Y2. I was there for Y2K. Reporting has survived Y2K. Apocalypse coming soon.
It was really touch and go for a few minutes.
I wish I was there for Y2K. Like I wish I was there as a high schooler, teenager, college kid for Y2K. Okay. Think of all the ass you would be getting at that time.
Okay, no bullshit. I think I was in like 7th grade when Y2K happened. I was sick as shit, and I passed out on NyQuil and completely missed it.
Oh,
yeah, dude, I
woke up and absolutely nothing changed.
Nothing changed.
Or your parents just fuck with you and they're all dressed in rags and they're carrying guns. Like, you gotta hide, they're after us.
Dude, I was just happy 2012 happened.
Humor like that, she would have totally done that. My grandfather had plenty of guns to do that. That would have been hilarious as fuck.
I had just finally got my selective service shit went in about a month before 9/11 happened.
Oh,
so that was fucking. Yeah, that sucked. You saw where? Well, thankfully no draft. You always worry about that kind of shit, but still, it's just like.
Oh no, we're closer to a draft now than we've ever been, though.
Well, and that's because of the lack of natural voluntary enlistment. Because I don't know, look what they've done to the military. And by the way, ladies, I can't wait till you all sign up for the draft. I'm there for it. I'm totally here for it. I fully support that. I fully support that. You get what you deserve.
You get what you work good and hard.
Exactly.
You want to know the secret for the enlistment numbers to go up again? It's real simple, and I don't understand why they don't do it. You hold bad leadership accountable. You quit punishing people from doing the right thing, and maybe actually pay them so they aren't just being like, "Hey, I'm trying to get out from being broke," only to come and do a shit job while still being broke.
Not just that. Nemesis, not even just that, dude. Take care of the fucking veterans who served in war after they get out. You know why so many people, like me and people my age looked away from that shit because we had uncles, we had grandparents, we had family members.
Vietnam, Korea.
Went into that shit.
Mhm.
Yeah, Vietnam, Korea, hell, the Gulf War, who came back and had to sue to get the fucking benefits they were guaranteed in their fucking contracts. Just having the fucking military actually support the veterans who served in war after they get out, so they're not on the street fucking begging just so they can afford to live. A man or a woman who served this country in war should never have to do that shit. It is the most insulting fucking shit ever. And it's the number one reason I think people don't want to fucking join, because how are they going to treat you? What's going to happen to you after you've served and you got a leg taken off or you fucking lost your hearing in war? Nothing. They're going to throw you out on the street. They're going to cut your benefits and tell you to go fuck yourself. Like that woman that got injured from the vaccine she was forced to take. Fuck those.
But you know what? They'll be more than happy to use you as a photo op.
Well, I know what's funny about that too is like my mom, she was in. It's funny, her and I both served during the same war. That's kind of wild to think about. That shows you how long that bullshit in the Middle East went on. But my mom got hurt in the military. She's part of the Mounted Color Guard in Fort Riley. And yeah, it's like I have my friends all the time. They'll tell me, why don't you go to the VA and get something? Why don't you go to the VA and get something? It's like when I was 16, I was going, or 17, I guess, 16, 17. I was going to my mom to her VA appointments, right? I saw guys from NOM sitting there in the waiting room that had Agent Orange blisters on their arms. Jesus. You know what I mean? God, and it's like, you want to know why I don't go to the VA and ask for help? Because those are the fuckers that need the help. You know what I mean? I can still work. You know, I worked down at the port for a year, climbing up and down fucking ladders, moving all kinds, climbing up on down ships, moving cargo, doing all kinds of shit. I'm fine. You know what I mean? Would I love to be able to go over to the commissary and shit like that? Sure. But you know what I mean? Like there's other people that need to take priority over that shit. You know what I mean? And it's just like, and that's always the thing about it. But yeah, like you said, that's the worst part. You see how broken that system is. And it's so funny because my mom's been in that system for so long that I've been able to watch the changes as it changes under administration from administration. And Obama was hell. Obama was hell trying to get her 100%. You know what I mean? She finally got it. And then like during Trump, things were going great. And then as soon as things switched over, fucking benefits started getting cut again. They're on a stop loss right now. So like her psychiatrist is getting ready to, and she loves her psychiatrist. Her psychiatrist is getting ready to leave. And guess what? Because the VA is on a stop loss right now, they can't even hire anybody to replace her with. So my mom's going to be like without a psychiatrist for a while. And trust me, that's not a good thing. So it's just like, yeah, this is the shit that we live under when you fucking vote Democrat.
That moment when you can't even marry a dependopotamus anymore with TRICARE.
That's fucking I know. You just can't do it anymore. God, that had pissed me off in the army. I was like, you fat fucking bitches.
How am I supposed to get my stripper wife?
Dude, I told my ex-wife when we got married too, because her mom, God rest her soul, was a big woman. And I told her flat out, I said, as long as I'm in the military, I have to be in shape. I will not have a fat military wife. And she was like, you're not kidding. I'm like, no, the fuck I'm not. I watched my mom and her friends, these fucking fit ass army dudes, have these women that were 300 pounds. I'm like, that ain't happening. That is not happening. So yeah, that worked out. Don't do it, girls. Don't do it. Don't marry a dependopotamus, boys. I know it's great to have something to come home for after a deployment. It's not worth it, dude. It is not worth it.
So back to what Tatiana was saying.
Exactly. Let's go. But before we do that, we got another guest. Well, he just joined. Now he's back. Diesel, what's going on, man? Been a while since we had you on. Good to have you back,
up, my man. Welcome back, dude.
You're muted, my man.
Yeah, we got no audio.
Oh no, Diesel.
All right, take your time while Diesel gets that figured out. We're gonna finish out like you guys are saying, the actresses in Hollywood is pretty much the only influential people that this side has to turn on. And let's see what else she has to say.
How a child identifies, how a child knows themselves to be, that isn't a parent's place. It's an overreach. On
oh my god!
I'm gonna let Dad run point on this one.
Children have rights. Children are human beings who have knowledge
This side of the womb.
And we should be taking
Right.
cues from them. In so many ways, we should be taking cues from them.
Oh my God.
Listening to them, empowering them to know who they are and to name that. It's their right. It's not the parents' right.
Bitch,
All right,
I believe the children
what
are
the
our
real
future
fuck?
was cringe back in the 90s, okay?
Dude,
Come
it's always
on.
been cringe. It's never made any fucking sense at all. Like children, it's been what 100 years since kids at any of my kids' age understood who they really were when they had to go out and work since they were like fucking 5 in a field to keep up the family farm. This is the epitome of people who just don't know what the fuck they're saying, don't know what they're talking about. This is the childless left. These are the people who want to tell us how to raise our children, that we should give them to the government, that we should listen to them, that the schools should fucking teach them about sex. This lady doesn't know shit about children, and she never will, because again, her womb is dry and old and haggard and useless. And this bitch looks rode hard and put away wet for somebody who's drier than the Arizona fucking desert right now. Like seriously.
So
she has
it is
no
kind of
right to fucking say shit to anybody about this.
It is kind of funny. Somebody who would advocate, who I'm pretty sure advocates for is pro-choice, which we know what that means, can say we need to listen to these people. What, just a few years after they're born, but before that, fuck them. That's all.
Before that,
Let's also not gloss over the fact that it doesn't matter what she knows or what she doesn't know. It doesn't fucking matter, because we're talking about kids determining which genitals they prefer in which hole.
Yes.
That's really what this all boils down to. But the problem is kids can't know that. Kids shouldn't know that. And if kids do know that, the parents need to get a visit to the wood chipper, for God's sake, or anyone else that ever touched them that generated that in the first place.
What's funny about this too is she goes, let them name it. Let them name. It's like, who gets to fill out the birth certificate? The parents name the children. It literally starts at the very beginning that you guide your children by naming them. You're supposed to determine their destiny to at least to a certain degree and put them on some kind of guided path. That's the whole point. You're supposed to tell children what to be, how to function in society. That's the purpose of a parent. Give them a good moral foundation. Let them figure out the world on their own when they're set up to do that kind of thing, which with the way our culture and our society's been now, we've infantilized children, and it's been intentional. They want you to be a kid for as long as possible. They love the fact
into their 20s.
They love the fact that 35-year-olds are living. 35-year-olds are living in their parents' basements right now. They relish in that fact because guess what? That also limits population growth. That limits the next generation. That limits your ability to think and function out there on your own independently. Because guess what? Just like rich old Abigail Disney, who's never had to work a day in her life, was born with a platinum spoon in her mouth. You don't know what it's like to have to suffer. You don't know what it's like to have to work hard and actually learn what real responsibilities and how the world actually works.
Well,
that's what they want.
This is what I think that it actually is. They're trying to blur the lines to what an actual child is and what an adult is. So that's why you got the people. You got the people calling themselves maps or whatever. You got those parades that they just had last month. They're trying to it's not about pride, it's about indecency. Let's be real. That's why it's the most sexualized parade ever on this earth. Like you can't tell
but
me
it's not
otherwise.
public indecency because they aren't doing it for sexual gratification.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they're grown-ass men at a kiddie pool.
Yeah, they got kids at these events. Like it's to be honest, they're trying to blur the lines to what a consenting kid is and a consenting adult. And I think that is what 100 I think is the whole ploy of it is. If you say a child is able to come up with like basically if you could say a child can make their own decisions at the age of 5, you're willing to say that they can consent at the age of 5.
Yes.
That's all this is. They're trying to blur the lines for when the child is, and that's what I think that's what I assume what this whole thing is about, and nothing else.
It is
like
it really is. I mean, at the end of the day,
even if they're not planning it.
Part.
Well, even if they're not planning it, that's where this leads, because it's incrementalism. That's where all you have to do, and this is my rule for humanity. If you've thought about it, somebody's thought about worse. If somebody's thought about worse, they've done it. And if they've done it worse.
Yep.
Well,
so
we had
that's where incrementalism leads.
We had that chick in Australia or whatever, right? That was like claiming to be, or it's like, you need to ask your child to change their diaper.
Oh, God.
For permission.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you guys remember that? And she's a professor at some college somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Like
Australian colleges aren't real, just like Australia. Neither are their degrees.
But I mean, there's people that study I'm gonna say this too, for someone that's been to college. A lot of your freshman college students are basically they're just as impressionable as like a new child. So they take whatever belief system that their teacher puts into their drill into the head. That's why there's these degrees that don't amount to nothing, because it's not really about the degree. It's to teach these thought processes to these next generation of folks that where it's like, yeah, of course, you can't apply that anywhere, but it's not about applying that anywhere. It's about changing their thinking. So you get the votes that you want, you get, you're trying to change society to be the way that you want it to be. That's what, like, even now the problem we have now, we can't even, our own government doesn't even follow our own fucking constitution. Sorry, I don't mean to cuss on YouTube.
Exactly.
But, like,
we're fine.
Yeah,
I cursed within the first
You'll
5
get there,
minutes,
Iron.
my dude. So
I was saying,
I already did.
Hey, I don't have banana, but I do have a long neck bottle.
No,
don't do it, Demon.
No.
Hey, I'm only on Rumble right now, so I don't care. Do whatever you want. This is Iron's channel, not mine.
But I think, I mean, have you guys seen that video in New York where the students are making up their own degrees, and that's what they're getting?
it's like the movie Accepted.
Yeah, so it's like, I want to be.
Ask me about my
I'm getting the degree in gender cookie division, or just some random nonsense, right? And it doesn't apply to the real world, but it's really not about applying to the real world. It's changing the mindset of the next generations of people, that where you get their votes automatically because they're indoctrinated into this whole mindset of the government has to provide every resource for them. And all the government does is takes from someone else and provides to the other. It's all about control. If you can change the mind of people, you always get the votes that you need. It would an example of this, you can see that with black folks. Most black folks are actually conservative in thinking, but they vote Democrat because they're told the other side is racist. They don't look at any of the policies that might fit their interests or whatever. Nothing else. Is the fear of racism changes their whole vote, whereas vote blue no matter who. And that's the problem. It's all about keeping in control. It's divide and conquer.
Well, and
that's why you're seeing more.
When you said indoctrination, that's when you nailed it on the head, right? Because that's the point. That's why you have all these bullshit degrees and everything else you can get into, because it's not about what you're actually learning. It's about the way they warp your mind. It's about they make little drones, right? I got friends that think it's this big conspiracy where there's these people sending messages. It's not that. They took over the colleges and they created an indoctrination camp. And that's all they had to do. They shove these kids in, they turn them into these little drones, they turn them into these little wind-up toys, they twist their back all the way the entire time they're in college, and then they just let them go out there in the world and have at it and just go wild and crazy with it. And then that's all you've got to do. You just let them go out in the world. You put them in HR, you put them in these executive hiring positions and all the rest of this kind of stuff, and that's all you have to do. It's not some coordinated, evil little mystery guy in the back room telling Disney what to do and telling what Hollywood to do. They indoctrinated these people to think that way. And then guess what? Corporate America hires them because they've got this fancy degree from this fancy institution that's nothing more than an indoctrination camp.
Mm-hmm. Blue-eyed Scorpio
exactly, dude.
is exactly right. I mean, he says in the chat, agreed. I mean, college is what, 4 months after high school? They're definitely impressionable. And they're absolutely right. When I went to college, it was 6 years after I had graduated high school. I had already gone to basic. I had already done my shit. I had already lived on the streets outside of Killeen, Texas. I had swallowed my pride, moved back home, live with mom. And then I finally figured out, you know what? I'll go to college since I don't really have anywhere to go. I go there. The classes, all the general ed that they force you to take, it was shit I had already done in freshman year of high school. It was basic algebra. I'm like, what is this crap? Everyone there spoke the same talking points, spoke everything that they were programmed off of social media from all the freaking liberal groups and meme factories that they were getting off of Tumblr. And all of them worshiped the freaking ground Anita Sarkeesian walked on because that was when she was blowing up at the time.
Oh man, that's a throwback.
The entire game design program just went to shit within 2 years at my college.
Oh, I bet. Fuck.
Well, I went to a game college as well too, and the younger generation of folks were all unhinged. You know, like my tuition was $96,000, and even before I started school, the school warned us like, hey, this, you know, not everyone graduates from the school because it's, you know, it's just the nature of the business, right? I went for video games and stuff. Sure enough, there were so many, little people that graduated that I had to wait for the next year to graduate for me to even have a graduation ceremony.
Make it worth the money for the entire ceremony.
Yeah. But the whole student loan thing too, right? Like the school warned me, teachers warned me. It was not like it came out of nowhere. Like I have to pay this stuff back. Like people who had nothing to do with what I took. It was my own choice that I chose to do, and I was willing to do that. I knew my bad. The school didn't promise jobs afterward. It was all based on your portfolio and how good you were and how much work you put in. I got a job before I graduated, and the people who didn't, you could see it in their work. It was fucking crap. That was the truth.
I'm glad you guys brought up Anita Sarkeesian and the video game industry. It pretty much segues right into this. But go ahead and finish your thought, Nemesis. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was just adding on to Vagabond. It's like I was the same. Like I got high marks of praises. I was encouraged and directed to make the games I had done game design classes, whereas everyone else was basically just remedial copy this from either Magic the Gathering or any other popular game. It was just all offshoots, unimaginative drivel. None of them actually bothered to put in the effort to create anything original. And the only people that were actually like upstarting, besides myself, who actually did the work, the other extreme in the class were those who were trying to push the freaking agenda. They were trying to say, no, we can't do this program or we can't do this certain project because it touches on, negative topics, like because they were talking about the 7 taboos in video games and why they aren't typically touched. And it was forced you to design a game that touched on topics such as SA, abuse, parental abuse and stuff like that.
Jeez.
And so
that's what I want in Super Mario.
It turned into full-blown activism, and it was like none of these people had actually lived a day in the real world, and that was the jarring difference between me and them. That's why I never kept any of those contacts. That's why none of them actually, thought highly of me, to say the least.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
But I was the one that actually ended up with a job.
That's usually how it happens, because an actual job is based on actual merit. You have to work for it, even if you're ending up in. Yeah, I know, right?
Dude,
even if you're
that is so 5 years ago. Stop.
Even if you're ending up in a corporation that's a Fortune 500, at least to some extent, they actually, if you're a worker doing work, if you're not a director and up, you actually have to be able to do the work because their comfort relies on your ability to do the work that has to get done. But one thing I will say really quick about the previous topic, anyone, man, woman, politician, whatever the fuck it is, an alien from outer space, if it comes here and it tells you that a child of 5 can consent to shit at all, any fucking thing regarding gender, sexuality, their fucking bodies, that person, that thing is a pedophile. Period.
I agree. And not being a parent myself, so I don't want to, throw, cut in line with anybody else, but I would just always assume that a parent's first and foremost job is to prevent your child from doing irreparable harm to themselves.
Yep.
You're told you smack your kids across the back of the head if they try to touch a hot stove, because they're permanently going to burn their hand and have a scar for the rest of their lives. So kind of the same thing. Am I out?
Exactly.
Trying to stay in my lane here, but
it's literally the exact same thing.
Pretty much exactly the same thing. Yep. Don't touch
well,
the
let's
grill.
get into the next topic here. I'm sure everybody's been seeing this chick on their timeline over the last couple
Jeremy.
Hey, I just want to point out. Real quick before we start the video, before this dumb bitch even runs her mouth. You guys seen my children on stream? Just putting that out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can hear mine.
They're freaking cute.
They don't come on camera.
All of them are freaking cute.
They're adorable. I turned on the internet for my boy so I could get some peace while we're streaming. Like, you got internet for the next hour and a half. Go.
Oh, that ratio. Wow.
So what's a little backstory? I'm really unfamiliar with this.
Okay.
chick.
So
So
what topped it all off was that her name is Alana Pierce. She's a writer for Sony Games. Worked mainly. Her biggest accomplishment is that she was primarily a accessibility consultant on God of War Ragnarok.
Oh God damn! I love that game.
She claims to be an actor and and all these other things, but in reality, her main acting focus came in the form of having an actual appearance in Cyberpunk 2077, where she was a character that tries to claim that your ride is hers on the No Bad Life path. You can basically tell her to get lost because it's yours and you collect every car in the game.
Why is that something to brag about?
I don't know, but they just cling to all their accomplishments as much as they can to make it seem like they're actually something of worth in life.
Yikes.
Somebody mentioned Dermy. Big shout out to him. He has been just rage posting.
Yeah. He wasn't the original. He wasn't the original poster of the clip either. It was someone else, and they basically took the example that she used in this video here, where she says, accessibility wise, you can think of a situational disability being, say you have a child, a 2-year-old, and you need to put the game down to go stop them from sticking a fork in an electrical socket. That's a situational disability because you're no longer able to do the thing and you're busy handling an emergency. It's like, all right, first of all, that's a fucking responsibility. That's not a situational disability. Secondly, everyone else who's come up in arms and is basically saying that anyone is attacking her, they're being, misogynist, just the geek culture attacking another woman, and that she wasn't even talking, and it's a term that's actually used in the industry. All right, first of all, the term was created by Microsoft. All right? Infiltrated from the top to bottom by the same yahoos that at school made you freaking bend over backwards trying to appease any freaking situation that might come up that is outside of the freaking norm. Right? So appease everyone, make it for no one. Thirdly, the document was improperly referenced. It doesn't even say situational disability. It says situational impairment. But she keeps going on disability because disability accessibility is her claim to money. That is how she gets her consultancy. She is an accessibility consultant. So everything needs to be a disability for her. And for all the people that claim for disabilities, they love it because this term means that they can continue to do their victimhood song and dance, that they can continue to be the special little individuals that they desire to be for, I don't know, their narcissism. I don't know. I don't understand these people. I have a mental disability. I have 2 of them, actually 3 of them. Sorry. But
4. Wait, 5. Wait.
No, but
7, 8, 9.
I don't go around saying like, oh, ADHD is my superpower. Fuck that shit. I don't want it in my life. I do everything I can to rise above it, go beyond it. And Well, aside from drugs, because I don't feel like doing meth to handle it.
I mean, I got Tourette's syndrome, and that was hellish for me as a kid. I was constantly having the vocal tics. I didn't shout out cuss words. I didn't get the fun ones, but it was exhausting. Whenever I would get stressed, my eye would twitch. Even still to this day, like my muscles on the inside of my body would twitch. It hurt so fucking bad just to exist as a kid, and especially because I wasn't really secure in myself anyway. But like Tourette's did not help the issue. Also, I had ADD growing up. But here's the thing: I didn't know about that until I was a junior in fucking high school, but I didn't take anything for it, and I still don't, and I never will because I don't want to. I am not disabled. Everybody has something wrong with them in some level, but that doesn't mean that you immediately get like government assistance. We were just talking about the VA stuff. Those guys were fucking disabled. None of us are. Well, then that.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Now,
we don't deserve special accommodations for just having to deal with life.
I'll give her credit.
Is there a special accommodation for just being retarded? Because I could totally qualify for that.
Yeah, me too.
There were a lot of
Everyone
comments
here
on
could,
there that
actually.
did just say like that's all this video was amounted to, was for labeling children as disabilities. But it was actually the fact that she was just advocating for accessibility awareness and that situational disabilities like this can come into play. And it's like, all right, you're referencing, again, she referenced the document incorrectly, but she also didn't really get the main point of a lot of the detractors saying that it's a responsibility. Again, is not a disability. It is a choice, knowing that is what it boils down to is you're setting your priorities incorrectly at that situation. If you're playing a game that doesn't have a pause feature, then you need to just get with it and be like, oh, hey, my child's about to do something stupid. Well, do I let the child do something stupid, or do I put the controller down like a responsible adult?
Right.
I don't know.
Exactly,
I haven't played a game with a pause feature since Final Fantasy Rebirth. Outside of that, it's been MMOs and Elden Ring.
But before we get to the video, she's completely wrong, because all you have to do is press this fucking button right here, the power button. Yeah, well, pretty much press this button right here, and it'll take you to the screen. It will pause for you. It will essentially pause. It will, in essence,
unless you're playing online, which you can't pause an online game.
Yes, I totally get that. But who among us is playing online from games? That's kind of a.
And she's talking specifically about Elden Ring. It's been a minute since I picked up Elden Ring, but I remember there being a pause button, because I have
pause button. You
prostate of
button.
80-year-old.
Even on the PlayStation, you hit the PlayStation home button, and it would bring up that same screen like it does on the Xbox.
Yeah,
exactly.
The problem, guess what? What's the worst is going to happen? Your character's going to die. Oh
my God!
It's never happened in a Soulsborne game ever. Oh my God!
And that brings me to another argument that I was debunking with people on everything. They were like, "Well, there's no reason, there's no harm in having it." It's like, no. Let me break this down to you. Again, you don't play poker using the rules of blackjack. You don't play Monopoly using the rules of Candyland. The design of Souls without a pause button feature was intentional. Sure. In offline mode, you used to be able to go to the map screen and it would pause it. Fine. You could go to an item description and it would pause it in offline mode. Sure. You can also Control-Alt-Delete, go to Task Manager, and pause process that way too. All right? Yep. You can brute force the pause feature in offline mode. The point is, intentionally, it was designed not to have a pause button, because the rule of the game is constant danger.
Yeah, and I want to add to that. Games like this they're bragging rights. It's not meant for everyone to beat it. The folks that do beat it, you get bragging rights. I've been playing games like this for pretty much my whole life. Like when you play Metal Gear games, and to unlock the special features, is you have to beat the game without dying on the hardest level and without killing anyone and stuff, and sneak past everyone and just trampolize people when you can. And that's when you unlock the stuff.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm interrupted. I'm sorry.
Oh, no worries.
You're good, man. Welcome back.
Welcome back, Diesel.
You're alive.
Hey, it's good to see you.
Just finish your thought real quick, Vagabond, then we'll introduce Diesel.
Yeah. It's just like you play Halo on Legendary, and the people who beat it get bragging rights. It's about bragging rights. It's not supposed to be accessible to everyone. Like, you got a missing arm. Oh, well, it's not for you. There's other games that you can play or whatever. There's some people who can beat the game with one arm. Good for them. They get the bragging rights to say that they did it. And if the game wasn't designed to have the pause function and it was supposed to be that hard, just in general, it's not every game's made for everyone. And life's not fair, and you just got to understand that. And like, hey, some games aren't for me, and that's okay. Go play something else and don't cry about it. Just move on. Like, it doesn't have to be for everyone. I watch anime. Not every anime is for me, but like for the ones that aren't for me, it's like, okay, I don't care about this one. I'll go watch, and that's it.
Yep.
And like this whole argument is just retarded, and that's all I have to say, pretty much.
Oh yeah, sorry, Diesel's next. Sorry, I'll stop.
Oh yeah, Diesel, are you good back, man?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, there we go. Now you have a voice.
Nice.
Very
I had to. I'm on a laptop. Surprisingly, dude, this laptop is really old, but this thing still works. It's an HP. Like, dude, I'm using the camera on the laptop, and like,
it's not bad.
I've got the mic hooked up to it. You guys do robot a little bit, so I can't watch. I can't like chat in the on the like the other YouTube screen because I want to just keep one browser window open, just to keep it, because everybody was kind of robot, and I was like, I know Jesse with his smoking fast freaking like 1968 Hemi Charger computer is not lagging. That's must be my ancient, like probably 15-year-old laptop that's probably lagging. So I'm like, and I plugged in. I got it hard plugged into the router and stuff too. But man, hey, what Vagabond was.
Well, you're coming in clear. You sound good too.
Yeah.
Cool.
What do you think about the subject, Diesel? What do you think?
I was gonna say one thing, like Vagabond said, not every anime is for him, but I will add to that, there is an anime for everyone, though.
Mm-hmm.
There is something out there that
hentai.
everyone will like, man. And let me tell you something: if Vagabond can't help you find it, no one can.
It doesn't matter how degenerate of things you like, Vagabond will find it.
He will find it.
I'm about to say, if he does find it, maybe be careful.
That gives me a great meme idea. I'll just have some creepy guy walking up. Yeah, I'm looking for an anime with, and just spout off the worst things, and just go to Vagabond. I got you, fam.
Well, yeah. No, dude, you gotta have Vagabond. You gotta have Vagabond later. Like, you gotta have him with a trench coat on. He's just like, I got you.
That's what I was thinking.
Like,
open the trench coat.
Just all these anime titles right here.
Except with Vagabond, for it to actually be accurate, it'd have to be his backpack. Like the next scene is just him taking his backpack off, opening it up, but it's like a bag of tricks.
Bring out a lampstand,
Yeah, exactly. I know that Blu-ray's in here somewhere. I haven't watched it in a while. Hold on.
He's the weird. It's not even Mary Poppins
laser disc.
Yeah, except it's not like lamps. It's like the body pillow, body pillows, and it's like the figurines.
So you say that I saw one of Anime Matsuri that was like a snake body pillow. So the guy's about my height, about 6'1", and it's as tall as he is, but it's trailing on literally 100 feet behind him. It's a big old snake. So when you said body pillow, that's what I envisioned. He's just dragging.
I thought you said you didn't meet. I thought you said you didn't meet Dermy Wormy at the.
No, Dermy was the pillow.
I think me, Dermy, and green-haired anti-liberal, we're all gonna join a con one time, and like me and Dermy are gonna be degenerate while green-haired follows us.
She won't be following you for very long,
dude. Vagabond needs his own store, and since he's in Georgia, he could totally pull it off. It'd be like a fucking anime, and it'd be like guns, and it'd be like fucking chickens, and then it'd be like some weird food too.
Dude, you'd be like, right at home in Chinatown.
I need a
here.
50 cal. I sent him a video, man. It was like this dude. He was talking about this son of a gun is like going up against Megatron, and it's this dude shooting a 50 cal sniper rifle.
Oh, you shared that earlier. I might pull that up if we have time at the end of the show.
Vagabond sends me a link to where you could buy the thing, man. It was like 30 seconds later, he's got the link to the fucking gun, man. It's hilarious.
That's because I looked. I was like, I'm planning to do some waifu gun builds pretty soon.
Oh, of course you are.
Wait a
Of
minute.
course
Right,
you
there we
are.
are.
What?
There we are.
Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, he is.
Yeah. Like I have a Zaku. I have a Xeon themed gun.
Yeah, he's got a
I
Zaku
still
burn on his grip.
Yeah. So I'm planning to do a waifu a waifu build AR pretty soon, maybe. I don't know which waifu to pick yet because like I got so many waifus.
I don't know what I'm more turned on by, the AR or the
waifu sniper rifle is
Yes.
deadly from any distance. Like
Yeah.
my ex, like a lot of my ex-girlfriends, man.
Yeah, there's a if you watch Sword Art Online, I know people are crap on me about Sword Art Online, but the one chick, Kirito's sister Shino, she uses a 50 BMG. So like, if I was to do that, I would like laser engrave her onto the side of the 50 BMG or some shit.
Dude, you guys, he's got to show you his he's got a Zaku on the grip. That is, when I saw that, it just like Vagabond went from like awesome to legendary. I was like, you just immediately surpassed all other stages and went into this whole nother stratosphere. And you know what's a trip? He's described it to me, but Vagabond is a lefty. You know what, man? Because like he's like the biggest gun nut I know, but like even when he describes himself, it's almost like he like describes it. It's a trip, man. You as a lefty is a trip, but like I think even as a lefty, you were still based. It was just like you just hadn't looked around the corner yet and noticed all the cool shit. You were just like,
I thought you just meant he was left-handed. What the fuck?
That explains the hand job I got in Vegas. All right.
He walked around the corner one day, saw a gun and some Gundam, and was like, all of a sudden it was like a ray of light shone down. It was just like,
the hand job.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know we're on YouTube, so I can't show nothing. But yeah, I do got some plans. So like, I'll probably on Odyssey, I might do like a whole. It won't be like a video all the time because guns get expensive there. But like, if I could do like this whole waifu gun collection, that would be amazing.
That would be pretty dope, man.
That'd be pretty I love how as much as we steered off topics, they've all been so great for 4th of July stream. So,
so Vagabond, your FBI agent's gonna be like, "Oh god damn it!"
Oh yeah, not again.
All right, so this thing's a little long. Oh, go ahead.
I say something. One quick thing, man. I got my cubital tunnel and my carpal tunnel done, and I got my guitar. I got my guitar hand back, dude. Check this out.
Oh yeah,
man.
Awesome.
When are you gonna give us some licks, dude? We want to hear it.
Gave you a Ric Flair and 2 claps.
I was doing. It was like this morning. Like it was this morning, and after I got out of surgery, I was just like,
Okay, be careful. Be careful.
Yeah, if you ruin this hand right after you get it back, I swear to God.
No, I'm not doing nothing, man.
Don't overdo it.
No.
Stay away from the disease.
You're like setting up. I decided to try to like just bench press 490 out of nowhere, and there goes
I
my
played Master of Puppets, man, and like my finger flew off.
Yeah, let's not do that.
All right, so we're gonna start this at 8.
Man.
Yeah,
Well, go ahead,
blessed.
Professor.
No, I was just telling Diesel, take it easy while you heal, man. I want to hear you play that thing.
Oh, I'm slightly mildly mediocre. At one point, and I told Selena this, I could play Blink 182 and sing "Damn It" like spot on.
Oh, nice.
Oh, shit, hell yeah.
You'll get there again, man.
The concert was so much fun the other night.
It was
bet
such
it
a
was.
blast.
That's dope.
Well, we'll get back into this. We skipped ahead to the 8:36 mark to get right into it because I don't want to have to listen to her talk more than necessary.
Times across various mediums by various people that Elden Ring is not, or FromSoft games in general, are not particularly accessible to disabled players. And people are asking for accessibility. I'm not actually asking for an easy mode. That isn't the intent. Here's the thing I want to spell out where accessibility is concerned. People who are disabled, I felt myself doing it, I'm going to do it, is another tangent. There are also multiple kinds of disabilities, especially where gaming is concerned. There are long-term disabilities. There are situational disabilities. There are temporary disabilities. It counts as a disability where a video game like Elden Ring is concerned if you have a kid. You have a 2-year-old, you're trying to play Elden Ring, you can't pause. That is a situational disability that you have.
Maybe
There's
you
a
shouldn't be
solution
playing
for
any
that.
video games at all if you have a fucking 2-year-old that you're supposed to be watching.
Here's an
That's
easy
just my
solution.
suggestion.
Nap time. Play it after you put the kid down for bed because my brother has a toddler. He puts her down at like 7 p.m., 8 p.m. Play then. Play whenever you're not having to look after the kid because that's what responsible adults are supposed to do.
Let me tell you
I would
something.
say, ask for her husband or significant other, the other person involved in creating the kid. Okay, it's your turn to watch the kid.
He ain't
I'm gonna
around.
have
Do you see that left hand?
Well, let's be honest. I don't
Let
think
me-
there is one.
Nah, you got the fuck out.
Let me tell you what this is. When my daughter was 2 years old, F that game. F you for talking about this, playing a game with a 2-year-old. My daughter was with me and it was just me, by myself. My daughter was my world. If you have a 2-year-old and you're more worried about this game, you are a piece of shit. You need to be worried. I hovered over my child like the Terminator, dude. Nothing got near her. When we went to go to when she got mobile, was when she really got fun, like 2 and 3 years old. We'd go to McDonald's and then I crawled all up in them ball. Let me tell you something. I'm a little claustrophobic. I crawled up in that ball crawl with her, man, because that's my child. That is the one. That's the reason I'm on this planet is my daughter, man. I followed her. Oh, I mean, and when we went places, I'm serious, man. I had the Terminator vision. I was like potential threat, closest potential threat. Anybody came, but I'm just your child. Get off,
my man.
Put this game down and
Keep that same energy. Let's get through this clip. And then I also want us to pull up. She actually did another video today in response to all the backlash she's been getting.
Oh, God.
I want you to keep that
Get ready to
energy.
share the link.
Okay, I'll get that for you. But I want you to keep
I'll be
that
happy
energy
to,
in
man. I
mind
hovered over
going
my
into
child.
going into this and into the next one because, well, you'll see.
Yeah.
It's only
So,
fair that we get the full context of this.
Right.
Real
hard
quick.
are we
So
gonna laugh?
Vagabond was saying, if you're actually playing with a disability, that just gives you disability bragging rights. So I guess for an irresponsible parent, it'd be like, yeah, I finished the game without pause and I have 3 kids. Wait a minute. I thought you said you had 5.
So funny story. So Iron, before you say that,
part.
playing it with a disability, side scrollers actually showcased a 6-7-year-old kid playing Elden Ring, beating one of the hardest bosses. He's autistic, and he's doing it jumping up and down with one hand. He gets the final shot in with one hand, and he is so happy. And I guarantee you, this dad just farmed that job out to this kid.
Yeah.
There is no barrier for accessibility if you know how to do it. I mean, some people, I think I saw with someone beat Bloodborne or Dark Souls 3 on the Guitar Hero controller, for God's sake. People consider disability.
Hell yes.
It's just something, it just gives you more bragging rights. Yeah, sure, you beat it with no assistance, but hey, did you beat it blind? Did you beat it with one hand? Did you beat it with a Guitar Hero thing? Did you beat it with a drum set?
Dude,
it's cooler that way.
I got better bragging rights for it, right? I played Elden Ring with 5 kids and I ended up with 6. How about that?
I had a friend that
You're doing it right.
Yes.
I had
Jesse for the win.
Literally.
I had a friend.
Literally, Selena.
He passed away during COVID because he ended up with COVID and passed away from it. But he had a YouTube channel called Real Dad Gaming, and he had 5 or 6 kids. And I was staying at his house before I got my place here in Macon, Georgia, and but he was making a channel for dads, hey, you can still game and still take care of your kids and stuff. And my bad, I know I'm drinking too, so but yeah, his family took me in when I first moved to Georgia, kind of moved to Georgia and stuff, and then but yeah, he passed away during COVID because he ended up getting it and whatever. And but he was playing games and stuff, and he would do it after all the kids would go to bed and stuff. He would make time for his gaming after his kids. So there's no excuses that you can make to be oh well, this game needs a pause function just for because I don't want to be an adult or whatever. There's no excuse.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that
no, it's not.
I don't have kids for at least I don't know yet or whatever.
He is black after all, ladies and gentlemen. He is black after all.
But at the same time, even if I did, my kids come first, even if it's a game I really enjoy. You know, I had nieces and nephews and stuff, so I know what it's like taking care of them and stuff. And like, if the games, there's no game that's that more important than your kids, and so like, there's no excuses. You don't need a pause function. Go, like, hey, if I'm gonna die, so be it. Go handle what your kids' needs are first, then get back to the game after your kids are like completely settled. That's all it is. Like, you know,
doesn't matter if it's a raid boss in WoW or the fucking Super Bowl.
Yeah, like, there's no excuse for this, and I'm like, she deserves all the flack she gets because the kids aren't a disability. You know, you laid in the bed with what you made.
Mind you, she's just trying to raise awareness,
dude,
of various different types of disabilities out there.
For those of you that are
unless I see you like Ricky Berwick,
educated bigot. You need to be educated. Stop being a bigot.
Like, unless you're like Ricky Berwick or something, there's no excuse. I'm saying.
Doesn't
Ricky Berwick is better than her?
Doesn't this infuriate you? Those of you that have kids, Jesse, Professor, doesn't this doesn't it make your blood boil? A 2-year-old is vulnerable and helpless, dude. You do not leave a 2-year-old alone for a second.
No.
I'm past getting my blood boiled over idiots like this because they spout the same talking point bullshit over and over again. It's like, oh yay, color me shocked there.
I've just been
I laugh at them and I roast them.
Jesse's
got
1,000 yards spare.
I stirred up the fucking hornet's nest with this. Like, I have been attacked by a new breed of degeneracy. Like, I thought furries were bad, but I found someone just equally obnoxious as them.
Just wait to get to Dick Masterson's crowd.
Her simps are bad. You should check out Dermy Wormy's content.
Yes.
I got accused.
One of them.
I got accused that my only accomplishments in life are my achievements in games. It's like, did you not even look at my freaking X profile that you're commenting on? I literally only post my stream shoutouts, music highlights, and praising people for winning in life. Oh, and some funnies, you know. But, no. Apparently, I'm the one whose only achievement in life is games, coming from a person whose profile picture and entire identity online, chronically, is them needing to play more Wuthering Waves.
I bet her simps
getting a new Genshin Impact drop, or whatever the fuck the new gacha game at the time is.
Dude, those simps of hers got to be some kind of new level of like.
Dude, they're a bot farm.
They are.
I want to get into it. I want to see the rest of what Nemesis posted.
Yeah, I'm
then
sorry.
I have something to say about
this stuff makes my blood boil, man.
Yeah, let's finish. Let her finish up her context here, guys.
Or lack
the game not having the option for you to be able to pause, for example, is a hindrance for your particular disability, a situational disability. You may need to pause to stop your kid from putting a fork into a socket, a power outlet. In Australia, we call power outlets PowerPoints. But when I moved to the US, I got bullied for that because people thought that I was referring to like a PowerPoint slideshow.
Nobody fucking cares.
Trying to get that one out of my vocab. And there are temporary disabilities. You break your wrist, you sprain your wrist, you temporarily have trouble playing video games. You would need something to help you press certain buttons if you're playing Elden Ring. The third one, long-term, people who have long-term disabilities. That I do. I have tendonitis in both of my wrists from playing too many video games. Unironically, that is a thing, from tapping too much. That means any rapid button mashing in any game, I'm going to have a lot of trouble with unless there are accessibility options to prevent that. It's part of what I worked on God of War Ragnarok. That's part of why I made an accessibility award show to like highlight this particular thing. Is like, I have a lot of trouble with fighting games. I have a lot of trouble with any game that's really button mashy. If there are too many button prompts, I'm going to be in pain and have to like ice my wrist afterwards and not really be able to play. Here's the thing about accessibility in Elden Ring.
God,
man, can you imagine Tiny?
Understanding that people think disabled gamers, whoever else, want an easy mode. This is not the case. It's that the appeal of Elden Ring being really fucking hard is also appealing to people with disabilities. They too want to play the extremely hard game that is very hard for them to beat. They're not
get
asking
bragging
to give
rights
them an
if they
easy mode
do.
and make it easy for them to get through. They're asking for a
I'm
version
sure,
of the game
I'm sure playing
can be played
football
with their
is
particular
real
disability.
appealing for people in a
So they
wheelchair.
can still-
It's just sometimes it ain't in the cards, yo.
I'm sorry your
I'm
wrist
sure-
hurt and you're in a little bit of pain. I'm sure Tiny would have a little bit to say to this freaking.
We all know
Exactly.
people who are worse off than
Yeah.
her. Oh, get tendonitis in my thumbs. Like, I
Yeah,
can't see straight
got-
when I get stressed. Shut up.
I got another friend I grew up from middle school that only got a thumb in one of her hands, and like the rest is just one big finger.
Right.
And like she still finds a means to play games. There's no excuse. Like it's just, take care of your kids. Like not every game is made for everyone. Understand your limitations. Life's not fair in general. Like,
yeah, I mean, I would like to be able to just be task oriented and go at one thing on my list right away, get it done right immediately. However, ADHD, that shit don't happen for me.
Yeah, like I've been on the developer side. It's like I got on a vision for how I want my game to be played or whatever. And so I make the game to what I envision in my head. And I want people to play and enjoy what I created. The pause function and adding other things in there, because accessibility is like that might ruin the game that I created. Like I wanted it hard on purpose. I wanted it the bragging rights.
You wanted constant danger to always
Some
be
people
there,
want a challenge,
Yeah,
Yes.
but
Some people want a challenge.
that's basically the main point with more context than the clip that originally set all this off. So we can go to the second one, which is her follow-up to everything. So I want you guys to just keep the energy on everything you've heard from her and what she said and see if that still holds weight with her explanation on what's gone down.
All right, let's do it.
If you don't know me, I'm a
She touched up her roots. There's that.
9 a.m. to 6 p.m. at a AAA game studio. I am a writer on the
You can
design.
skip word.
I
You
also
go,
work
like,
as an
a little bit.
accessibility consultant, and I've done it on 7 separate games so far. I'm credited as an
Wait,
accessibility consultant on
pause.
God of War Ragnarok because
If I may, does that not call every single point she's trying to make into question because she makes her money off of this shit? She makes her money pointing out this stuff, and does that not? Does that not make her a wide? Does that not disqualify her from speaking about this at all because she makes her money conveniently trying to fix it?
Yeah, I mean, just like Sweet Baby Inc. and the DEI consultants, of course they're going to tell you to make a game that is supposed to be period based in a certain region of the earth, set in a time when there was no international travel, to be diverse, even though it contradicts the entire story and the framing of the game itself, because that's what they're paid to do. So they're going to shit on anybody that has any issue with that by making claims of, being bigoted, racist, sexist.
Here's what I'm also going to say this. Anyone who's played from Magnavox, Atari, all the way to PS3, this wasn't an issue. No one talked about it. If there was a game you couldn't play, you just fucking couldn't play it. That's it.
Right.
This how many games on Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis, most of us didn't even beat, but we still enjoyed it, and we enjoyed the challenge. You play Ninja Gaiden.
Oh,
probably
God bless you.
1%
That's the hardest game ever made.
Yeah, 1% of gamers actually probably even got to the final boss, and then out of that 1% of gamers who got to the final boss, only 1% probably beat the game. Like you weren't
2 licks from beating that game, dude. 2 licks. I had a VCR hooked up to the Nintendo and was going to record it because it was because they had.
Hell yeah, bro!
And then I got overconfident.
That's how you
and
fucking
died. It was like the third because the final boss is like 3 forms, and I had already knocked the armor off and everything. I was within 2 licks, got overconfident, died, unplugged it. I have never played the game again. Dude, I had the VCR all old school with them audio video wires hooked up to that Nintendo, man. I was like,
but before the PC Master Race, it was arcade, right? Arcade was king, right? When you put your initials in the arcade for the fucking score and shit, right? Like it's bragging, it's all bragging rights above. Like I'm able to get this high score above everyone else from pinball to any arcade. Is just you put your fucking 3 letters on that motherfucker, and just watching no one else get to that level.
Do you think game developers making those arcade games would have given a shit about an accessibility consultant?
No.
They were there to make money. They were there to rob 12-year-olds of every fucking quarter they could find, make, earn, or steal. They wanted all of it, just so that little asshole could get those bragging rights to put their initials on the screen.
And they
made it
succeeded.
as hard as possible.
I had a Commodore 64 Predator game, which was an awesome game, but the game was literally unbeatable because it had a glitch and it was missing part of the screen. Like at the end, when the Predator has the wrist bomb and it's like, blue, 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 he's about to blow himself up. And like you're supposed to go over and there's supposed to be a little rope to a log and you drop the log on him. Well, the little rope thing where you were supposed to press the one button for the joystick, because on the Commodore 64 it wasn't there. But I kept playing the game because what happened was didn't know what to do there, so we just got into a fist fight, which every single time I would lose and the Predator would come down there and in the 8-bit pixelated glory rip out my spine.
Yeah, but
I kept playing it over and over again, and it was literally unbeatable because it had a glitch in the actual game.
But even the beat 'em ups, like Turtles in Time, right?
Oh,
the Simpsons game. I need to get me one of those arcade machines for that.
You do.
Time Crisis.
Love Time Crisis.
The
rail shooters were awesome.
Yeah,
Terminator
House of the
Dead.
Yeah,
just all those, and then you put your fucking initials in there. Even pinball, like you just pinball, and like just put you like it's bragging rights. And like it's gaming is you're facing another player, which that's the other people playing the same game as you, or you're facing the computer. When you like, it's supposed to be hard. There's no the levels, like it shouldn't be easy and stuff or whatever. It's like once you defeat the boss that you were like playing hours of just trying to grind that shit, and it's so euphoric that when you beat it, it's so amazing. And you don't get that experience if you're adding accessibility shit in there. I'm sorry, it's not everything.
If I may add,
I've never been big into games that like Dark Souls and shit like that. I've never been big into games that, like, I just sort of beat my head against the wall to figure it out. It's just not my thing. I normally play video games because I enjoy them, right? And Armored Core 6, and I'll flat out admit, I normally play games on like easy, normal. I'm normally there for the story, right? I'm one of those kind of people. Yeah. But Armored Core 6, one of the guys bought the game for me, wanted me to play the game. Armored Core 6 Fires Rubicon, okay? If you've ever heard of that game, if you've ever played that game, it's essentially they call it the Souls game of Mech Warrior games, okay?
Yeah, it's dope. Dude.
It took me 6.5 hours to beat that first boss. I literally had to rewire my brain for the way I play video games in order to beat that game. And I'll tell you right now, that was the most accomplished I have ever felt in a video game in my life. It was fucking amazing. And I loved the shit out of that game. I still love the shit out of that game. I will gladly go back and play that game anytime because it was an absolute blast. And just getting over that first boss made all of the rest of the game absolutely fucking worth it, man.
I had a similar experience. The first From game I ever beat was Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. I played Dark Souls 2 and 3 and Bloodborne after that. And Sekiro is often seen as the hardest one. So that's my claim. That's my bragging rights. But I beat, that was the first one I beat because I didn't really, you don't really have an online mode. You can't really get help, but I still did it because it's pattern recognition, because the game was designed that way. You did have a pause feature, kinda, but it was more. It was the how you allocated your points through that screen. But still, I didn't use it to pause.
Jesse,
real quick, just so I know we have the context right. Nemesis, do you know? Does she work as a consultant for video game companies, or
she was a writer for Sony, but now she's swapped mainly over to accessibility consulting for it within Sony.
That's what I want to make sure.
I'm pretty sure she farms herself out to anyone else now too.
Right.
Oh, there's no.
And I just want to make clear, when I was in the gaming industry, there wasn't these job positions at all.
Right. These are made up. This is made up job that they put in there, man.
Like you got programmers, you got programmers, you got the artists, and then
the writers.
You got the people, the testers, you got the people to do the marketing and stuff. But other than that, that was it. Like,
this consultancy shit didn't start until about 10 years ago. Maybe 12.
Yeah, well, and I just had a thought. You know what this really is? This is this chick fluffing her resume.
Yeah.
Every woke asshole company out there that wants an excuse to hire an accessibility person is now going to hire her because of all of this controversy.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
Who
like,
the fuck knew who she was before this? Did any of us?
No,
I had no idea.
Apparently,
Yeah.
so Razorfest actually shared a story. So she was caught in 4K on 4chan doing some kind of stream or whatever. She can be heard. Her husband or whoever, the man in the room, is coaching her how to play it. So she's been a fake gamer from the very beginning, apparently. And she's
I'll tell you
Yeah.
what she is, dude. She's an HR person.
Yes.
She was in
Yep.
HR somewhere at Sony, and they moved her over here because they needed her to fill a role that maybe a man had before, some other bullshit, and who the fuck knows. But these kind of people litter the Fortune 500. They're in every big company, and they just manage to grift. They talk to the right people. They network
But
or whatever.
she made all of her
and don't
content
feel bad for them
when she worked for IGN.
Yeah, exactly.
Real
So that's all
quick, I
well,
just
but-
want to say real quick, like that story that Jesse said about Armor Core 6, dude, that's when Jesse became a gamer, a hardcore gamer, because there's a game for everyone, and that game got him.
Yep.
Like I can tell when the way you say that, man, and I watched you play some of that game, man, that got him. That got him, man. It sucked him in. You're a gamer.
One of us. One
All right.
of us.
Let's
Well, all right.
Yeah, let's hear
let her
from
finish here.
So
From the
what
horse's
I did on
mouth.
that game was in the
Horse
accessibility
face's mouth.
space, and I also created my own award show called the Video Game Accessibility Awards. We've run that for 2 years. I took a break last year because God of War Ragnarok came out, and it would be very weird to have an award show the same year as the game that you worked on accessibility, even though I don't vote on it. It's voted on by a full panel of disabled gamers. But it's a thing that I care a lot about and know a lot about, more than most people, though there are certainly people who like full-time do accessibility in the space who would know way more than I do. But earlier in the week, I made a video that I called Elden Ring is Too Hard, in quotations. And majority of that video, I think it's like the first 8 minutes, I'm just basically talking about the negative reviews that Elden Ring has gotten for being too hard and saying that I disagree with them. Majority of that video is me saying, no, I think that you should get good. Like I did literally say get good in it. The second part of that video, I wanted to talk about something that I'm just going to give with more detail now about accessibility design and why when people talk about being against a game being accessible, I think it's really silly because accessibility is so much broader than just a guy in a wheelchair, which is what most people seem to think of when they think about accessible design. But when it actually comes to that design, it is much, much, much broader than that and will definitely apply to you at some situation in your life. So in this video, I was talking about that. I was saying when people ask for accessibility in games, they aren't asking for an easy mode because they also just want to experience the hard game. They're not trying to get it to just be easier. And I was saying, accessibility design is so much bigger than people think it is. An example I used, and to be clear, I wasn't even advocating for this. I didn't say that I think it should be there. It was just an example. An example I gave let me just show you the clip first. Let me show you the full clip. When people are asking for accessibility, I'm not actually asking for an easy mode. That isn't the intent. There are also multiple kinds of disabilities, especially where gaming is concerned. There are long-term disabilities, there are situational disabilities, there are temporary disabilities. It counts as a disability where a video game like Elden Ring is concerned if you have a kid. You have a 2-year-old, you're trying to play Elden Ring, you can't pause. That is a situational disability that you have, where the game...
That is not a situational disability.
Children are not disabilities, you bent.
So the problem I have with this most, and I'll say something here. Do you want to finish? We'll let her finish her context. I guess. And then
I'm about to say, maybe we should let her finish.
I give her credit for putting up the example and
sure,
leaving the main crux of it in.
It makes it no less.
Yeah,
she touched up them roots too.
5 jump cuts later, but yeah,
not having the option for you to be able to pause, for example, is a hindrance for your particular disability, a situational disability. You may need to pause to stop your kid from putting a fork into a socket. So I basically explained 3 pillars of disability as it pertains to design. I did not invent this term. This term has been around for a long time. There are variations of the term, and it's multiple facets of design. This is used in web design, it is used in app design, it is used in software design, and it is used in game design. Or development, design or development.
It sounds like a bunch of fucking
I got it right here. The document says being mindful of the continuum from permanent disabilities to situational impairments. Oh, so you just changed it to disability. Okay.
Yeah, it sounds better when you say disability.
But notice she's not explaining. She's not explaining this at all. She is directing us towards other people to explain it for her. It's like, no, that's not how that works. You made the claim, and then she's not even making it right, as Nemesis you pointed out.
They don't do that.
Situational disability is not found on in any of the Microsoft stuff. Disability is not used. It's impairment. She has to explain it, but she's used the term disability. She used that term. It has a definition, and she clearly had a point for it. So, honey, if we misunderstood, change the fucking term you're using. That's how language works.
No, on with this a little bit. In the United States, 26,000 people a year suffer from loss of upper extremities. But when we include people with temporary and situational impairments, the number is greater than 20 million. Ha!
Everybody's a victim.
I wonder why we're adding that in there.
Yeah,
everybody's a victim. You're incapable of doing anything to change your circumstances.
She's using the World Health Organization's term of disability.
Oh, communist!
There you go.
Communistic propaganda.
When you look at the Merriam-Webster's definition, a physical, mental, or cognitive or developmental condition that impairs, interferes, or limits a person's ability to engage in certain tasks or actions that participate in a typical daily activities or interactions. Okay, it says impairs, but
not to sound old, I mean, I'm only in my 30s, but so back when I was like trained for school, like video games and shit, disability was like for accessibility's sakes was you were either missing a limb or didn't have a functional limb or something around those lines to play a game, right?
Color blindness was coming out of my time.
My friend Hazel Ra, who
the game was still made to the developer standards with whatever the developer or the maker of the game had envisioned. The game stayed the same. The accessibility part was like, okay, Microsoft would make like controllers that you can have feet pedals to control A and B or some shit like that. That was the accessibility part. If the developer intended the game to not have pauses, that was so fucking what that's what it was. Nothing else. If you wanted to play the game, they might made a specialized controller or some type of controls for you to still play the games to how a normal person or functioning 10 fingers and 10 toes would normally play the game. Outside of that, your mental issues has nothing to do with what a developer originally intended. So put that out the door. This is some new nonsense because Anita Sarkeesian and shit need some money to like, just the fun, whatever
money and attention.
They are.
This is a non-issue, trying to make it an issue. Someone reading into the wild, trying to make an issue, which is so much what so many of these commie gobbledygook speak is. All this nonsense is all of this stuff like systemic racism, all these buzzwords, and you know how many buzzwords she brings up in her statements when she's talking about all these little buzzwords that they like, that the little commie gobbledygook World Health Organization buzzwords. All you got to do is bring up the World Health Organization, and when you're citing something like that is, it's complete. The World Health Organization, their statistics even reference in their statistics saying that their statistics are not accurate because they get statistics from countries that have totalitarian dictators. That's how useless and worthless the WHO is, man.
It literally says it in the document, Diesel. The point of it is that 26,000 people a year suffer from a loss of upper extremities and stuff like that. Now, but if you conclude temporary and situational impairments, that number jumps to 20 million. That's money that Microsoft could be making off of people. It's dehumanizing corporate jargon.
This is unchecked stuff that has gone to the nth level because they're still grasping at this. This is going to bring in money for them. No, it's not. It's not going to do anything but cost your company all this money to pay for this useless bent to have a position to make up more non-issue gobbledygook.
Yeah, like the accessibility. So Microsoft, they used to be real big on like they would make controllers for people to have. So it wasn't about changing the gameplay, what the developer. So like originally it was never anything to do with what the developer intended. It was always
It's an actual disability. Something with somebody's missing like they only got one hand. They'll make a special controller where they can do stuff probably, and then like you were saying, something to use with the foot. Actual disabilities for actual. So some dude who lost his head or lost the functionality, their arm in a car accident will be able to play a game. Stuff like that for actual people that have actual issues, not this made up non-issue. We see a situational disability. See, when my 2-year-old might put a fork in this thing, I can't pause the game. What is this nonsense?
No, fucking this bitch. I'm sorry. First off, I'm gonna stop and say, children never have ever. If you're a parent, if you've had kids, if you've gone through the shit it takes to birth them, to raise them, to be there for them, they have never been ever in the history of ever all the way back to when they were working on farms and shit. They are my inspiration. They are your guiding force. They're a resource. They're an inspiration. They're the reason I succeed. Your children should inspire you to do better. That's fucking, as a man. Now she's a woman, but even my wife is inspired to do better because we have fucking children. We both try harder. We do more. Your children should be an inspiration to you, not a disability. This bitch is fucking situationally negligent is what she fucking is. And CPS should be looking in on this dumb cunt who can't fucking put down a controller to watch her fucking children. Maybe she doesn't. God, I hope she never does. If you're watching this, watch it. You don't marry shit like this. You don't put your dick in this shit. You don't make babies with shit like this.
This is a demon in a skin suit.
No, it's disgusting. She's a narcissistic piece of shit. Look at her. Before she even made the next video, she went and dyed her fucking roots. That's what's important to her. She would ignore her 2-year-old child while she's getting her fucking roots done. Fuck this lady. I'm sorry. A video game is a fucking video game. You put it down. You have responsibilities. See, what they like to do is they like to make it, I want to feel better about the fact that I don't have the time.
Neglecting my child.
Games, or I don't care. I'm neglecting my child. So I'm going to call neglect a disability. Fuck you. Neglect is neglect. It isn't a fucking disability when you ignore your 2-year-old so you can play Elden Ring so you can feel important. This bitch doesn't even play video games. You can tell by everything about her, by the way she talks about them. And moreover, if you want to go into the career front for this lady, you want to ask why some of your favorite games wind up getting fucking nerfed combat. It's fucking dipshits like this who go into the developers area and they're like, we need you to do this to the games because a button mashing is harding for me. Stop playing the fucking games. Go play fucking putt-putt, you stupid kid.
Exactly what the professor said. Every bit of it times a million. You're not going to tell you something. Even referring to a child as a disability, somebody should punch you through a wall. In Minecraft.
But it's not even like the fact that a child the child as a disability thing is it really, this whole discussion is a symptom of a greater issue, and that is removal of responsibility. It's removal of responsibility. I'm not responsible for my own behavior. I'm not responsible for my own fucking child. I'm not responsible for anything in my environment that might make it. I am powerless. I am a victim. I should have special accommodation for my own choices in my life, and that's all this. That's all this ever is for everything.
It is trying to relabel.
Yep, exactly, Jesse.
It's trying to relabel responsibility as a fucking disability, and fuck leftist dipshit fucking idiot lazy motherfuckers like this who can't get up and stop playing video games to wash their own fucking asses. She probably smells like shit because she hasn't stopped fucking around staring at her cell phone playing Candy Crush for 10 hours to wash her ass. Go wash yourself, you dipshit.
I wonder if she manages to salvage herself in your guys' eyes with the rest of this video.
As it turns out, actually even broader than that. I've learned this week from people contacting me about it that situational disability is also considered in like commercial buildings. Apparently, it's not even just app development. It is much bigger than that. And there are three pillars of design. There is permanent, which is the thing that I think most people think of when they think of the word disabled. Person who has one arm, somebody who is blind. Let me pull this up, literally just give you a direct example. This is from Microsoft Design Toolkit, and I'm sourcing
Microsoft Design Toolkit, someone else's
the name of will be familiar with, but you can find examples of this.
Hey, look, it's inclusive.
So we have permanent on this side, which is, for example, someone has a permanent disability, someone with one arm, someone who is blind, someone who's deaf, or someone who is nonverbal. Then there are temporary disabilities, which is like if you broke your arm, you broke your wrist, you have an ear infection. Then there are situational disabilities. This is example that's used here as new parent, a driver who is distracted, a bartender. I can explain the bartender one because people are confused about that as well, and a heavy accent. People are also reacting to the heavy accent one. So let me explain what the situational disabilities mean here. Maybe an app can't understand your voice because you have a heavy accent. That is considered a situational disability. You are disabled, you are unable, you cannot proceed through whatever software or whatever task you are trying to complete because of something that is situational to you. And it is situational.
Okay. Quick pause. Then I do want to finish.
I just wanted to say, you know, when I got a DUI, I should have just told him I was situationally disabled, man.
Removal of responsibility. Look at that.
Exactly right.
No, he's actually onto something there because alcoholism is labeled, and I agree with this, that it is a disease. So
I agree.
Cheers to that.
Come on.
No, but I do want to add. I want to add to you guys. I think the speak and situational awareness section with the heavy accent, where they got like it's like an Asian lady with like a shield and a sword or some shit. It's like because I saw it earlier in the week that picture.
You're right. What is that?
Like the drawing of that, it cracks me up every time I see it. It's like
what the fuck is that?
It's like a Chinese lady with a fucking cane or a sword or some shit. And
that's her Elden Ring character.
Yes.
Somebody find that picture.
So I saw this earlier in the week, and I was like, "Oh, that's where my eyes drew to," because maybe I'm partially racist or some shit. That's like the quarter white side of me or whatever.
After hanging out with him in Vegas, I can confirm he is definitely racist.
She's holding a bowl and some chopsticks. I don't know.
It really does look like a shield and a sword. I gotta.
Yeah,
she's taking us to Valhalla, apparently.
The funny thing is the leftists go out of the way to be so fucking inclusive and not offending and shit.
Oh my
and they got the most offending picture ever in the bottom right corner.
Well, let's look at why does laryngitis look like Gary Oldman from Bram Stoker's Dracula? Right before he feeds those bitches the baby.
Exactly.
And why does ear infection look like Donald Trump?
Oh, it does.
I've had the best ear infection. It's wonderful. It's with the tail.
Best one.
Jesse,
it'll be over. I'm undead.
The heavy accent. I'm imagining I'm like Walmart or some shit, and like some Asian lady with like a bowl of rice and a can, like, walking up to me and like asking me some shit, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't speak Chinese.
I don't speak ching chong.
Why you don't have my friend?"
But like, I'm asking her at the same time, "Do you have a daughter?"
Yeah, that's right. Does she speak better English than you?
Probably.
I don't care either way.
She does. That's a deal breaker.
Yeah, exactly. I won't be able to get it up otherwise.
Master Hobo, in my defense, I've only beaten Dark Souls 1 and 3. I've never beaten Demon Souls. I've never beaten Dark Souls 2. I've never beaten Bloodborne. I get freaking bored with the games. It's not that they're too hard. I just get bored playing them.
Play Sekiro. If you, it's not. It actually has a learning curve, and when you mess up, and you will, you know exactly why.
The only reason I've ever gotten through Dark Souls 1 and 3 is because I had people to play with. I've only played the other ones. I've played by myself, and it's just bored me out of tears. And the same thing has happened with Bethesda games with me. They're not for me. It's like One Piece.
Sure.
Just real quick, Jesse, you have hammered this home over and over again. What do you do when you make a game for everyone? What do you do when you make a comic book for everyone? What do you do when you make a movie for everyone? Exactly.
You've made it for no one.
Made it for no one, which is all what this gobbledygook woman does is the commie hoe goes into the meeting and then she just explains, here, check this out. I just made up something so that you can pay me a whole bunch of money that you're not going to have because you're going to turn this game. I'm going to turn your game into a pile of stinking and dog shit. And then basically what we have to do is we have to make this for oh my God, that woman down in the bottom right. We got to make this game for that woman down in the bottom right. All she needs is a giant chopsticks and a bowl of rice.
For the Tibetan mountain goat shepherd.
Exactly. Have we not considered someone that might be situationally disabled when?
Hey, well, she has heavy accent.
Very disabled. Very hard for me to play video game. I try to play game. How can I not win? I need to be able to play Elden Ring with chopstick right now.
Goddamn Mongolians!
Very situationally disabled. Can only use chopstick for game.
I want to hear Professor Savage Dad read the broken English instructions I get with these third-party Chinese transformers. To use the chimney and to do the thing. It's all these things are hilarious when you read them. They all
rig.
Man, if we could play X-Ray Girl the game, I would be playing that right now.
Chopsticks. Oh, where did they disappear? Oh, we know where they would disappear. We know where the chopsticks went.
Don't know where your chopsticks are. Right,
so much more this weekend.
Where your dog is.
Yeah.
Both your dog. The context of that game. Like, the situational here means having a heavy accent is not considered a disability in layman's terms. You would not be called disabled all over the world. None of these things are like, if you have a heavy accent, you're disabled. It's not that. It's just the situational disability in terms of design is that you are disabled from using the interface in the way that a user should be able to because of your situational disability. You're
not disabled, but you are.
The bartender example here is referring to a really loud environment. So if you are someone loud, they could also use music festival, but they're just using someone who functionally regularly works in a certain environment. So if they're in a loud environment and they can't hear a particular thing on whatever app, whatever interface they're trying to use, the accessible design would aim to alleviate that situational disability. It's not saying bartenders are disabled in the way that the public associates the term.
I was a bartender for 8 years, and I never tried playing a Souls game while working at a bar.
Just we're trying hard enough.
I've never used a microphone.
The example that I used, which again is fairly commonly used, I didn't.
All right, let's see how much more.
At the time, it's been around for a really long time. Is if you're a parent, you're trying to play a game like Elden Ring, and you are halfway through your boss fight, and your kid runs across the floor and does something dangerous, you have to drop the controller and go and get them. That would be considered a situational disability, in that situation, you are unable to complete the task that you are trying to complete because of something that happened to you situationally. You have been disabled from completing the task. The way this pertains to accessibility isn't to say that all games, all apps, all processes need to alleviate all of these things. That's not the intent either. Like, it's just a way in which accessible design is much broader than people think it is, in the ways that it can help a lot more people than people think it can. And it's also definitely a reality in accessibility where it is basically impossible, I would argue, to fulfill every accessibility need on the planet. That is very, very, very difficult.
Damn, you're gonna try to.
So many of them. The situational ones are so numerous. But it's just a means of looking at design that would allow the people who are doing the accessibility design to think about it as broadly as possible, think of as many situations as possible in which somebody is disabled from completing the task. Somebody is unable to complete the task. Somebody is hindered from completing whatever task they are trying to, whatever function they are trying to complete in whatever software they are engaging with. I think the word disability is probably really common used in the tech space because we use disabled a lot. Like, a function was disabled. This feature has been disabled. Bluetooth has been disabled. It is no longer able to work, not because it's been turned off or it doesn't exist. It has just been disabled. I think that's probably why it's widely used and not considered to be offensive when it comes to design. And there are also, I've definitely seen people say having kids isn't a disability, it's just a responsibility, go do something else. And that's totally valid. Yes, that can make you a shitty parent. The intention is not to allow parents to be shitty parents. The intention is to allow them to not be punished or have a negative consequence in your product because of something like that where possible. And like a very good example of
that's what I wanted you to get
understanding.
I wanted you
to there it is. Fuck's
Why
sake.
the fuck do you think the video game is so fucking important that putting it down is somehow a hindrance to you? You just go and fucking restart the level or restart the boss or just fucking play again if you die. God damn. It's just a fucking video game, you stupid fucking millennials and zennials and the rest of you idiots that can't fucking realize that.
You see
Put the controller down.
Let's also realize in every single Souls game there's a function there's a function where wherever you die, that's where your souls or blood echoes or whatever currency is. All of that stuff stays there for you to go get it again. That's what it's built for. That actually is more of an accessibility issue than the not being able to pause, because it's right there. All you got to do is go back to where you died, pick it up, and then resume. And if you die again after you picked it up, congratulations, your stuff's going to be right back where you left it. You don't need a pause feature. It's annoying as hell sometimes, especially if you traversed a lot of levels, a long way through a level to get to the boss. It is irritating, but welcome to having a kid. Welcome to parenthood. And this is not even relegated to having a kid. If you have a fire,
being an adult.
Yes, it doesn't have to be. If your dog takes a shit on the carpet, you got to go clean that up before it stains and sets in. Believe me, I know. But there's all sorts of things that you're gonna have to you're gonna have to step away from the game in order to attend to. So,
you see the
it's stupid.
Where she's trying to tell you this is how we keep you.
And also, let's point out she's using the term disability to describe to define the term disability constantly. It's like, woman, could you figure out here's a thesaurus.
No, she doesn't know how to do it.
This is her grift.
There goes back.
Yes, it is what her grift is.
Oh no,
Strider.
Oh yeah, real quick, we lost Vagabond. He did let us know that might happen. The storm's starting to roll in, so everybody go follow him on X, and links are all in the description.
See,
hold strong.
I just want to say,
hold strong, Fiber.
For a young man like RedStrider here, who is a single man, ladies, this guy gets it. He understands things. Like, ladies, you're looking for a man to start a family with? Look at this ginger man here.
He'll put one in you.
Come on, ladies. Come on, ladies.
He might not have a soul.
No.
I don't know.
Strider is highly intelligent. He's highly intelligent and highly based and highly awesome.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Very well.
That's what I needed today.
You don't need to worry about the rest of this video. The last 4 minutes is her basically floundering on definitions and eventually saying, "Oh, but if I'm totally agreeing with you, if the definition is offensive, then don't feel bad about it." I agree that it's not wrong to feel offended about the term disability. But if you need to, we can come up with a different word for it. Like, that's the last 4 minutes of this video. I just wanted you to get to this part to see how you got your guys' opinion after everything leading up to this and your own experiences as fathers.
Right.
Bring RedStrider up. I want to see him real quick. Look at how red that face matches the hair, I bet.
The face matches the cuffs. Come on. Well, I'm glad I could help, Chloe.
Yes,
thank you very much.
There it is. All right, that was awesome. Ladies,
it's not my quality. It's my Continental Army hoodie. Let's be honest. Everybody looks good.
Hey, that's dope, dude. That is a dope hoodie.
My mom got it.
Hold on, trying to figure out how to
ex-wife almost
exit,
threw it away.
Ladies, he's always free.
Exactly.
Do you see how that lady? You see how she wanted to put in the totalitarian? This is how we keep you from being shitty parents, rather than you take responsibility for your own self.
Right.
Yep.
And we're gonna take that. We're gonna not let you be shitty parents because we know better, because we're from the government and we're here to help.
And you can smell the entire corporate dehumanization off of that design document. I don't know how to help you, because it literally is their way of being like, how can we get people to continue to play our stuff, devote themselves to it, give us our active playtime measurements for our investors, sell on the accessibility so we can get more people to jump in and play the game. It's all money to them. It's not a matter of improving your experience. All it is for them to sell a product.
But that's anybody else? It's a lie. It's a lie that they've been sold, right? That's what all of these old white men that were in charge of these corporations, that are in the boardrooms of all of these corporations, that they got sold. Well, think about it. You already attract this amount of people. Well, if we do this, it'll attract all of the rest of these people. Not, of course, hiding the fact that they knew all of this was going to ostracize the customers that were already built into these franchises and these IPs. And that's what they didn't tell the old white men about. And they were too dumb to understand the culture to begin with to even think about it. Mm-hmm. And now they find themselves upside down going, what the fuck? What kind of bill of goods did we just get sold? And now everybody's scrambling, at least the non-true believers are scrambling to go, fuck, how do we fix this? And it's like, too little, too late, bitch.
Jesse's been
something else I've noticed
for forever. See, they not only that, they're paying to hire the nonsense lady to make up the nonsense, to spend more money to get this non-existent nonsense people who will not buy the product. And in the thing, what you're going to do is you're throwing away your existing customer base. It is the most suicidal business construct that's ever. Anyone, I mean, it's like my buddy Jason, or like I'm forever. He still is like wrapping his head around. He just cannot grasp how these people continue to shit on the fans. He's like, how are they gonna continue and continue? There's got to be some point where somebody somewhere is just like, what do you do? That's a question I was going to ask Jesse. Do you think Disney is ever going to reach a point where are they just going to just die off because they're just going to keep riding this woke train off the cliff, man, where they're just calling fans racist and stuff, and eventually
the current Disney leadership will continue to go down this path because they don't have a choice. What Bob Iger is going to do is try to cut back on the amount of nonsense that they put out there and try to lessen some of the blows. We've already heard the rumors from people like Pro, who have very reliable inside sources, that Burbank is calling Kathleen Kennedy out there in Florida going, what the fuck are you doing? This shit is over. We're going in a different direction because everything you've done has failed miserably. The reason why they're doing that is because Bob Iger is terrified of losing his CEO position, because the rumor that we heard was that Wall Street was basically told Bob Iger, this is your last chance. Fuck up again and we're not backing you again. We're done. We'll treat you the exact same way we did Eisner back in the day when we replaced Eisner with you. We will do the exact same thing all over again, because the problem is Disney as a corporation entity is worth too much. They are too valuable because of all the IPs they own. They are too valuable because of all the land that they own. Disney on its own land-wise is one of the largest landholders of any corporation outside of like Bill Gates and his farms in the United States, but actual, like, you know, that kind of stuff that's actually used for legitimate corporate purposes. And that's the thing about it. That's why when you say too big to fail, we're not talking about the government coming in there and going, we're talking about Wall Street and all these major all these major investment firms that have billions of dollars in Disney that are losing their asses all hand over fist, who were down with the woke cult until it decided to go, guess what? We can't make any money doing this shit. And so,
in the pocketbook, right?
It started hitting them in the pocketbook. They thought it was going to all be okay, and it's not. And Disney's officially run out of that money. So
I thought there were more of the world cult than us. If that was the case, then where's all the money from it?
I missed that. What was that?
That was the lie. So this is what's going to happen: is Disney stock price has finally cracked under $100. It's going to stay under there for a while, and it might even get worse than that. And at that point, as things start to finally bottom out, Nelson Peltz sold all of his shares back when it was still 105, 110. That means he's got money sitting in a CD, sitting in something, maybe just sitting in a bank account, yielding 1% interest. Doesn't matter. It's going to grow bigger than what Disney's stock is. So next year, if this bullshit is still going on and you still got dumbass actors, guess what? The rest of the year, outside of Deadpool and Wolverine, is going to be nothing but flop after flop. Pixar Inside Out 2 is an anomaly. Okay, it is an anomaly because they finally got their marketing to shut up. You know, but this isn't going to happen with everything else that they're producing, because we know what's coming later, right? We got we've got the prequel to a live action remake of a series from back in the 90s, Mufasa, that's coming out in Christmas, right? Snow White still coming. All right. Snow White still coming.
I don't think so.
Oh, yeah. No. What they've done, though, is they've done complete and total reshoots. They cut her out of half of the movie and replaced her with a little girl. Right, so all these there you go. That's when they see this post. Yes,
it's pointing right at me. What the hell?
Those guys are so cool. I met him and his wife in Vegas. They are such fucking cool
same.
people.
They're really fun. I offered them to buy them like a bunch of drinks. They're like, well, we can't drink anything in there. Like, well, damn it. Can we bring out water?
It's none of it's kosher.
It dropped down to like $85 in January, and then it slowly climbed back up, but it's hanging around 98, 97.
Yikes.
Oh, and they were artificially inflating it to keep it at 100.
Oh, I'm sure.
Right? I don't doubt it. But you can only artificially inflate it for so long.
Exactly. We couldn't hold AMC and GameStop up forever either.
Like,
you know what I mean?
That was a fun time.
Disney. That was a good time.
Deadpool and Wolverine might make a little money,
It's going to make a billion.
Eye
It doesn't
too,
make
but
up
it
for
is
all the
a,
billions.
it's like a drop in
It
the
will.
bucket compared to
That's the
like
problem.
all of the nonsense that like I think they're thinking that people are stupid and they'll believe that somehow stuff is saved by this one movie when everyone knows that you fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. It's not going to happen, man.
Yep.
No, I'm excited for Deadpool. I'm gonna go see it.
too. It's gonna be hilarious.
It's gonna be
I'm not going to go see it in the movie
fun,
theater. I'm not
a
going to
fun,
watch it in the movie
fun
theater.
fond farewell to
It will be.
two franchises I used to love. So
yeah,
absolutely.
So, speaking of comic books, let's talk about this Gaiman.
Oh yeah.
Which one?
Final
This
topic
makes-
of this evening.
Yeah, this makes me sad. American Gods is one of my favorite novels of all time. However, this is
I
not
like
a-
his
writer,
work, but I cannot
but-
stand him. So
Yeah, I
I'm-
can't
Same.
stand him.
Yes.
He's asinine. Great work. This is a perfect example of when you separate the art from the artist. The person, worthless jack off. Art, pretty good.
Good shit.
No complaints.
Point out allegedly.
Yeah.
This doesn't have been proven.
Yes.
Having read the
Right.
charges they
Yeah,
see,
we need to hold him by the left standards, not our standards, by his standards.
Guilty until
So-
proven
so
innocent and then
So
still
if they
guilty.
shove us, so if they
Apparently.
shove us off the bridge, we should shove them off the bridge too. That's the point. Is we
In
have to be
Minecraft.
better than them. That's the point. We
I
have
agree.
to be better than them. We have to be a step above. That's why people can look at their side and go, "They're a bunch of backstabbing, nasty bastards." The reason why, even though I might not agree with all these people politically, I at least know morally exactly where they stand. You know, Gothix herself, that was one of her biggest things, right? She might not agree with everything that we all think about politically, but she knows where we morally stand because we hold ourselves to a higher level than what these fuckers do. Never stoop down to their level.
No, I say, and especially when it
I
comes
would
to
have
anything
to care to
with
stoop to their level.
That's actually
well,
that's
with
actually
anytime
an
there's
awesome-
accusations, even if it's somebody I just completely despise, I want to see there being evidence and everything else first.
Dude, I defended Jonathan
because
Majors.
Yeah, I did too. I even
man, I
I
saw
was
that
even
clip.
with Alec Baldwin. I was like, wait a minute, it is a funny meme. I agree, but let's wait and before you start calling somebody a murderer, let's get some
dude.
Find out exactly what happened. This was within the first half an hour of the news
Dude,
dropping.
I saw that crazy woman chasing him out of the car and shit. He was running away. Jonathan Majors was
Oh yeah,
running
I mean, it turns out.
That was the other way around, wasn't it?
That's the importance of waiting to kind of see where some evidence
Context,
leads. So I don't know a lot about these accusations, so we're going to be learning a little bit of this on real time, unless anybody has stayed up to date with this topic.
The story just dropped today as of like
4
or 5 hours.
Okay.
So I don't think
Find out.
I don't think there'd be anything new.
It's all speculation and conjecture at this moment.
Indeed, yes.
as it usually is.
No, dude, no.
So
the accusations are about as vague as any of the Me Too allegations, but I mean, you never know. It could have some. It could have some weight to it.
So getting right into it. So Neil Gaiman has been accused of sexual assault by two women with whom he was in a consensual relationship and is the subject of a police complaint in New Zealand. Okay, it's New Zealand.
Yeah, well, he breathed on them funny then maybe.
Well, actually,
those
read
parts of the
the
world.
incidents that they're talking about, and then you really start questioning the validity of it all.
Yeah, they're odd.
Okay.
Not beyond
so
the
let's
realm
see here.
possibility, but odd.
Gaiman's position is that he strongly denies any allegations of non-consensual with the women and adds New Zealand police did not take up his offer of assistance over one woman complaint in 2022 when he says reflects its lack of substance. However, New Zealand police said that it made a number of attempts to speak to key people as part of this investigation, and those efforts remain ongoing, adding that there are a number of factors to take into consideration with the case, including location of all parties. That's not giving a lot away there. The allegations span two decades, and concerned young women who came into contact. Go ahead.
Wait till the next paragraph.
Right. So the 63-year-old best-selling author of The Sandman, Good Omens, and American Gods, as a nanny to his child and a fan of his writing. Oh, it's never get nannies, guys. What are you doing?
I lost my virginity to my baby brother's nanny.
Just ask.
Oh no, you would.
You would,
my man.
It's short, Mexican, and curves in all the right places.
Wait, Jesse. Repeat that one more time, Jesse. What'd you say? You lost your virginity.
Repeat it slowly and sensually. And whisper it in my ear, please.
Rosa.
Little Mac down.
All right.
No, read the allegations. This is great.
All right. The women's allegations were first reported in Turtie's podcast, Master. The allegations against Neil Gaiman released on Wednesday. The 4-part series examines the women's accounts of rough and degrading sex with the offer, which they said was not always consensual.
Not always.
Okay, so they were in a BDSM fucking relationship. And now the bitches want to cry and whine about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's like literally this came out in a podcast. This was reported about the cops, almost
a podcast
2 years ago.
It's the same people that the website's breaking now. This is their whole article breaking from the same podcast.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's been picked up by other news sources, but it's still nonetheless weird. He's like, oh yeah.
But I looked online, and when I was looking at all the news sources, all of them from the same side. Like from Tortoise, it went over to Rolling Stone. Then from Rolling Stone, it went to Mary Sue, freaking The Guardian, all the usual suspects.
I saw it on GameSpot.
Rolling Stone, who outed Johnny Depp and Marilyn Manson, who both of those, based on the actual evidence, turns out to all be bullshit. So they're a credible source.
Yeah, so I wouldn't put much stock in this at all. I mean, like you said, we can say whatever we want about Gaiman. I'm still personally excited for Sandman season 2 over on Netflix, but it's like that's what this shit is. He pissed somebody off.
Yep.
Somebody out there thinks they can climb the ladder by tearing his ass down is what this comes up to, because this is always my issue with any of these kind of allegations like this, right? Why are you coming out now?
Right.
Okay. Why is this some bullshit that's on a podcast that the entire title of the podcast is exposing these stories, right? This sounds like nothing more than somebody wants their 15 minutes of fame. They want a book deal and they want to get a settlement out of court from Gaiman just so they'll shut up and go away, because they do. Guess what? He's got a fat deal with Netflix and he's got a fat deal with Amazon on the Sandman series and on freaking Good Omens over at Amazon.
Scarlett, 23, alleges that Gaiman sexually assaulted her within hours of their first meeting in February 2022 in a bath at his New Zealand residence, where she worked as a nanny to his child. Tortoise understands that Gaiman's account is that they only cuddled and made out in the bath, and that he had established consent for this. His position is that over the 3-week sexual relationship that followed, they only ever engaged in consensual digital penetration.
Gross.
Finger banging the nanny.
He did the Joe Biden.
Oh boy.
This was only 2 years ago. He was 61 at that point. 61, and she was how old? 20?
Yeah.
20 or so? Jeez.
That's just from the gross standpoint.
So she's 23 now.
So she's 21. Okay. Oh, that's no better.
Yeah. She feels bad because he's old and gross, and she didn't get any money out of it.
Yeah,
That's
she
the
alleges
problem,
that within this otherwise consensual relationship, Gaiman engaged in rough and degrading penetrative sexual acts with her. Tortoise has seen contemporaneous messages, notes, and spoken to friends who Scarlett talked to at the time, which supports her allegations.
Oh,
I heard it from a friend. You heard
The
it from a
second woman, Kay,
friend.
was 18 when she met
Trust
Gaiman
me,
at a
bro.
book signing in Sarasota, Florida in 2003. She began a romantic relationship with him when she turned 20, and Gaiman was in his mid-40s, but alleges that she submitted to rough and painful sex that she neither wanted nor enjoyed. In one instance, she alleges Gaiman penetrated her despite her asking him not to, as she was suffering from a painful infection. Gaiman's position is that he denies any unlawful behavior with Kay and is disturbed by her allegations.
Oh boy.
Tortoise understands that he believes Kay's allegations are motivated by her regret over their relationship, and that Scarlett was suffering from a condition associated with false memories at the time of her relationship with him, a claim which is not supported by her medical records and medical history.
Not beyond the realm of possibility, by the way, because I personally, some of my family members have been convinced through some hack therapist that their dad abused them, and anybody who knows him is like, that's fucking absurd. But she is convinced because this hack therapist, hypnotized her or whatever and made her believe it. This stuff is insane. It's not beyond the realm of possibility. It's nuts, but I mean, it could. False memories are a thing, I think.
I mean, it can go one way or another, but honestly, it's all hearsay and whatnot. And we're basically coming down to the same thing of Johnny Depp and freaking Marilyn Manson. It's all word of mouth. There is no physical evidence. And you've got, of course, the best friends siding with the women, just saying, hey, yeah, this totally went down. It's like,
doesn't it kind of sound like
did it though?
What Professor was saying when he was like, he's old and gross. She's young. She wanted some money. She didn't get money. So now that kind of.
Well, he's one of the most prominent, most successful living authors. Why would you regret that?
Yeah.
Like any man who banged Salma Hayek would get a high five from God himself. Like, why would you not? Like, why would you?
Who do I have to high five to get with Elizabeth Hurley?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Now,
this is just
Satan.
It could also be that maybe like a lot of people that are in these extramarital affairs, if he was married at the time, maybe he said that, oh yeah, no, I'll leave her. I'm just getting it sorted out, all this. And of course that doesn't happen.
That kind of bullshit. Nope.
Yeah.
Feelings and money got hurt. But what I get from this is old and gross. But Trevor Bauer basically experienced the same thing. This is just old gross man version of what happened to Trevor Bauer. She's going to cancel him because she didn't get a paycheck, because she's trying to get a paycheck. So this is going to wind up in court, more than likely, and things are going to be settled, and maybe she'll get a paycheck. And what's really interesting is whether or not Netflix is going to drop him over this. I mean, the Dodgers dropped Trevor Bauer over the same kind of bullshit allegations that took 3 years or more or longer, actually, for him to get proven completely innocent, and for one of them at least to actually be charged with lying to the court.
I honestly believe the truth.
It sounds like
the truth will only come out if Netflix or Amazon drops their contracts with. That is the only honestly, because then he'll have damages, so he'll have to go after them for their false allegations and defamation. Whole Amber Heard all over again, and then if it comes out that he was actually right, he's not found guilty, then he can go after Amazon and Netflix for wrongful termination of the contract.
And Netflix could make an original series called Old and Ew, Gross.
Netflix wouldn't cancel him over. Netflix wouldn't cancel him over this because he makes too many good numbers for Netflix. Amazon has enough of the woke infection where I could potentially see something happening, but at the exact same time, Good Omens is great numbers, and Amazon needs good numbers right now because a lot of the original content they're putting out there is not getting it, no matter how much they try to hype it. And at the end of the day, it's still about, Amazon Prime and all the MGM stuff might be a vanity project for old Bezos over there, but at the end of the day, his vanity is still on the line.
But Rings of Power is so good.
So good.
Well, here's also, I mean, honestly, if Netflix cancels Sandman, they'd be doing us a favor, because casting Gwendolyn Christie as Lucifer and that one black chick as Death was an absolute abomination. So, but honestly, what makes this so believable, and I don't know, I'm kind of on the surface, I'm like, okay, these allegations are thin at best. B, I would also not be the slightest bit surprised, because he is a staunch male feminist. Like, he's a male feminist, and we all know what they do is they play the long game, and they leverage their male feminism into having women let their guard down, and then they slide in when there's an opening.
You know what else male feminist means, right? It means eventual SAer. That's what it means.
That's the thing. That's what makes me kind of not dismiss these outright, because male feminism, unfortunately, that's a lot of it where this leads, because those walls come down. A lot of these women get sucked into thinking that a man is an ally, and then turns out no, he's just playing the long game. He's just doing what was it? Doing the Adam Sandler being gay, or on Jessica Biel, right? Was that same movie I'm thinking about? And now pronounced Chuck and Larry, or the
Chuck and Larry,
yeah. That's I would not be surprised. He says the guy with an imagination like that is a little bit creepy. He's always kind of creeped me out. His voice is soothing as hell with the audiobook versions of American Gods and other stuff like that. But it's gross and disgusting. And but you're right. You're right, Jesse. If Netflix or Amazon dropped in, then I think that would kind of signal I think that would signal the sincerity of these allegations.
He looks a little bit like Roger Waters. If Jack was here, he could back me up on that.
I would say he looks like a younger, slightly healthier Howard Stern.
That's not saying much.
Was Howard Stern ever healthy?
Not really looking. That boy has always been pretty freaking skinny and looking like a bird. So,
no, I'm not. This is this Tortoise is the website that's doing has the podcast with all the episodes. Do they have anything reputable behind them other than this? Is this their flagship?
I think if they did, yeah, I haven't either. As far as other stories that they've done,
right?
Okay, I'm not sure actually. I thought you were
I didn't
asking
know. I had never heard of them until this. So just
checking
to see
UK
if there's
website
anything.
too, right? It's a UK website too, so that would also make it a little more unknown to us as well. Because I mean, what do we know? BBC and the Daily Mail are about the only ones we ever write. The Sun.
I was going to say the UK is the shining beacon of respectable journalism in the world, right?
Love you,
Jack. Me to it. That's another reason to not necessarily take these at face value yet, because I mean, we think it's bad at the US. The UK is a shit show when it comes to reporting. They are absolutely vicious. They're indignant about it, and they're
Johnny
insane.
Depp lost that trial over there.
Yeah, in the UK.
Yeah. It turns out over in the US, you actually get justice.
God, it was funny as hell. They tried using that ruling in the court in the United States, and the judge flat out told them, basically, I don't give two shits what a court in another country said about what our laws are in the United States. I could give two shits less. And it was just so funny because the lawyers were just like, it's like,
but she won. She won the case. She didn't win dick.
She got $2 million out of a $12 million total settlement. Yeah,
I got that her win. That was not her win, though. It was the Daily Mail. It had nothing to do with Amber Heard.
Right.
So they tried to use that, but it's BS. So
wasn't it like the Sun Tribune or something? Sun. It wasn't really even.
Yeah, the Sun's the bad one because Daily Mail,
the newspaper got the money, not her. It was about her, but she tried to leverage it into her own case.
It was not her win, though. Come on.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
No.
Nothing about that was her win.
Selena, you've been watching some stuff with other like allegations against some of the boy bands. Is this kind of similar to that in a way?
Absolutely. Against Nick Carter from the Backstreet Boys? Yes.
What? Oh, come on.
Yeah, there's been several allegations against him, but they're all coming back from like people like 20, 25 years ago.
Dude.
One of them, who's the latest, is autistic and disabled, and she claims that this stuff happened to her, and she like came out with a news crew, and who was it? One of the biggest, the one that defended I can't remember her name at the time. She's like, anyway, she's a big legal person. I'll figure it out, but yeah, the allegations are false, and it's ridiculous, the stuff they're coming up with. It's been proven also that the cases that they were brought to, even some of them who had taken it to the police were like, you have no standing because you literally said that you had consensual sex with him. You were boyfriend and girlfriend. So what are you complaining about? So yeah,
complaining that he said, "Baby, bye, bye, bye."
Yeah.
Wrong band, but yes.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, Backstreet Boys.
Like,
right.
It's like,
you're right.
Come on. I remember, like, I was in like 6th grade when the boy band craze was like really going wild. Okay. Yeah. There ain't a single one of them girls out there at the time that would not have had consensual sex over and over and over
all
again.
of them. But there wasn't a goddamn enough that could keep them from them.
At the same time, one after another, it would not have mattered to a lot of them girls back then.
So the first person who had put out an accusation, they're basically all copying her story. Happened to them in the same way,
That's
and it is so ridiculous. They don't have a standing, and he's fighting it here in Las Vegas. Go Nick Carter! I'm Team Nick Carter. He did nothing wrong.
They did the same thing.
So whatever.
Well, they did the same thing to Cosby and same thing to Michael Jackson. A lot of these, the more prominent prominent accusers, a lot of the minor ones that got like a couple minutes of airtime on the media got boofed out of the courthouse because the judge is like, "This is impossible. This isn't right."
Yeah,
but Bill Cosby's an actual.
Unless you're Trump.
That's true.
I don't know. There's some things with Bill Cosby. We could do a whole episode just on that. If you really go into some of the evidence and stuff, and a lot of his political leaning had shifted. He pissed off a lot of the right people at the right time.
He did.
Yeah. Color a shock there.
I don't know if necessarily he's guilty or innocent, but I know for sure he did not receive a fair trial at all.
Right. Well, kind of like what's with even if he is 100% guilty and they knew about it for that long, why did they wait until he pissed him off to expose him? But otherwise, letting it happen.
It's the same thing with Harvey.
Yeah.
Everybody knew about him. Everybody knew about him for decades. And then all of a sudden, when he no longer becomes useful, when somebody thinks somebody's a slightly higher in the power hierarchy than him, thinks they can use him to go out and get even higher, throw him right under the bus.
Listen,
and now he's getting a retrial out there in New York because they fucked a bunch of shit up because once again they're rushing the process.
For like one or two charges, but still like a lot of it.
Oprah and freaking
Oprah
and Meryl Streep still walk free, even though they're the ones that fed him right to him, like
Leslie Headland.
Leslie Headland, right there.
Dude, his personal assistant. You cannot tell me she did not know absolutely everything that was going on with that man.
Oh, she probably got the sloppy seconds.
Dude, I
probably
the thing
was that before or after she turned gay. Yeah, is her wife just whatever the lesbian version of a beard is to help her like stay away from Weinstein? I kind of wonder if that was the case. It just had to commit to the role and just kept going. I don't know.
The thing with Cosby, man, is like, let me tell you something. I was a Bill Cosby fan for a long time. I think some of that stuff is even self-admitted. I think he's been doing that for so long, but he has got this like persona that he put out, this like, and then whenever like somebody was just saying, whenever it became time where he pissed off somebody, they let some of this stuff come to the light, man. But I'm not, I'm very much of the fact that he did a lot of that stuff. That's
probably,
I mean, some of the stuff that he said he did that, he's just, but what kills, and you expect it with the hypocrites, but like, that was the one thing Bill Cosby was like, I grew up listening to his stuff, man, like, because he was a clean comic and he had a whole lot of religious stuff in there, but it's just like, man, that kind of thing when you're putting out that kind of, that's some demons, man. Demons walking among us, man. That is demons walking among us.
Well, a lot of it.
We've all been fans of somebody who has that persona, and then it just suddenly gets shit on in a matter of weeks.
Fucking the lead singer of Lost Prophets. Oh my god.
It was Iron Oxide for me. So.
That fucking shitbag.
Oh, by the way, when any. You know when they
before the stream it was Iron Oxide, and now I'm like,
when he wouldn't let you grab his ass for a third time in Vegas, so he's dead to you now.
Exactly.
You know what?
My ass remained ungrabbed, by the way.
You know what?
I'm sorry, Strider. Next time, I'll get you next time. I gotta get my ginger.
Double down.
I gotta get the ginger in on me.
You know,
all right, not a problem. You better be doing your squats. I'm judging next year. You better be doing your squats.
Oh yeah, I got to carry my big old crates of tea all the way to the Boston Harbor.
There you go. From Vegas all the way to the Boston Harbor.
Yep.
I thought Jesse had then got hammered and was grabbing on a whole bunch of women. I was texting Tanya. I was like, "Is Jesse grabbing all these women chicks' asses?" I thought you did get like hammered.
Wasn't women,
unless their names are Dermy or Iron.
The best part was I wasn't even drunk. I don't think I got like legitimately drunk the entire time I was in Vegas. I had a few drinks here and there, but I was basically sober most of Vegas.
Dude, I wasn't drunk. I was just fucking tired.
Dude, I was.
That's how he does it.
I saw what Jesse. You posted. I saw what you posted about grabbing abs, and I started worrying. I was like, oh my god, I was like, he's gonna wind up in jail. I started getting worried. I was like, he's gonna wind up in jail.
Diesel, Jesse's hand is like a face hugger, but it's an ass hugger, and that's how he gets you pregnant. He comes up and just you're pregnant.
God, if I had known the history with Jesse and you guys in Vegas, I would have chosen a different funny video for the memes.
Speaking of, we're going a little bit over.
We got a little long. Whoopsie, my bad.
Let's do some funnies.
No worries. Big round of applause for Selena for filling in for Jack this week.
Yes. Good job, Selena.
Yeah, if anything, I think
Doing the
you've
best you
I think
can to
it's an
rail us
improvement.
in.
I think it's an improvement.
An improvement. Thank you. No.
Hey, man.
I mean, it's
Jack-
Jackie's been doing it for 20 episodes before.
No.
So
Well, no, but not like this. Like I'm trying to be like Jack. It's really hard.
Oh, it's
You-
let me
you
tell
did
you
well.
something.
You did well.
There's no way that dude. I'm telling you, man. He's like you ever see Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas when he's describing Dr. Gonzo? He's like, when a god, there he goes, one of God's own creations, a high-powered mutant of some kind, never intended for mass production.
I love when you just know that on the top of your head. But that is an apt description of JackTarLad. Yes.
Yeah, I know. Jack is
That
Jack,
man figured out where I was exactly just by me posting a picture of where I was in the park. He's like, hey, by the way, I know exactly where you are. I'm like,
never doubt a geolocator, man.
Nope.
He's a
He is
fan.
behind you.
Speaking of Jack, this is Jack's clip for the week. So let's go ahead and let this play real quick.
I love it already.
Hello, America. I know your country is in shambles. Your choice in November is between Dumb and Dumber. Your empire is crumbling. You're more divided than ever. God damn it. But none of that matters. You're America, baby. Happy 4th of July.
man is a national treasure.
He is. He's an absolute national treasure.
Protect
he
him
loved
at all
it.
I loved when
Yeah,
I
me
loved
too.
him when him and Crip Daddy would go at it.
Oh,
my
dude.
God.
Rest in
Their-
peace, Crip
their
Daddy.
Twitter
Funny
battles were the
story.
best.
R.I.P. Crip Daddy. When Crip Daddy died, with the image I had in my head was Ricky Berwick. Is that bad?
Oh my God.
Dude, did you see the Sonic video
what?
where he goes? It looks like he's going really, really fast. He's like,
Yes.
and then it shows the wheelchair.
I remember that one.
Going
Real quick, Vagabond, what were you going to say about Ricky Burke? Real quick.
Vagabond.
Or not Vagabond. Jesus Christ. I still got a
Vagabond.
man.
You need more
I already
cowbell.
said
You all
my,
look the
I already
same
said
to
my
me.
thing about Ricky Berwick. I love him.
Oh, okay.
No, yeah,
I was
yeah.
saying that his like Twitter beefs with Crip Daddy, the joking ones, were just epic on Twitter. I missed them.
Dude,
missed them so much.
I legit thought it was going to be a joke. Like I thought Crip Daddy was faking his own death. Like I am not shitting you
Me
because
too.
that was some shit he would pull.
Because he
You
had,
know what I mean?
he had literally just achieved like a major dream of his, and that's having his own comedy special.
Oh,
That's so sad, man.
Rest in peace.
I know.
Yeah,
right? I
did-
missed the whole
I thought
lot
it was-
of that their Twitter beef too. I missed a bunch of that, and then like I had just found out about him not too long ago, and then the guy wound up dying.
What was really cool, Ricky Berwick had his Meta PCs burned and cremated along with him at Crip Daddy's request. Because he made a joking video about that literally just like 6 months before.
Daddy would.
Follow through.
Like if I happen to die, my dying request is that you burn your Meta PC and spread the ashes along with me. And he fucking
And,
did
and
it.
Ricky's a fucking G for following through with it.
He is. He
Right?
is.
That's
You gotta
fantastic.
you gotta love the guy, man. He does not just lean into it. He turns right into that curve and full speed ahead right into that wall with everything, man. It's just like when you think it's just like, oh, holy crap. Even I'm like at times I'm like, that's dark.
Oh, let's get Vagabond's clip out next. Be here with us. So
R.I.P.
real quick-
Vagabond.
Uh-oh.
R.I.P. there. Out, man. I know how it is. His power will come back on for a second. I know that's the South, dude. And it goes right back off as soon as you get the computer booted up.
Mine goes off for no reason.
You hear the music in the background.
Oh my god, something halfway over. There, stop, bitch.
my god.
What the fuck are you doing this for?
Shut the fuck up.
Doing this not wrong.
What a Karen.
I really hope that's not some kind of traumatic response. Otherwise, I'm going to feel real fucking bad for laughing about that so hard.
I think she's a.
Oh my
She looks like a.
Yo! Oh no, fucking.
Oh.
Six.
You gotta
pay
rewind it.
close attention to
Five.
the building.
Yes.
4.
Oh my god.
What?
You didn't see it?
Oh no!
I didn't see it.
All right,
Six.
middle building, rainbow.
5, 4.
Guarantee it. They were just counting down as a joke, and then that reaction, he wasn't expecting that.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Midnight, June 30th.
Oh my god.
I get it now.
So happy.
They were just as a joke, and then it actually went on. That's dope. man.
That's how you know it's
That's
nothing but marketing.
Well, that's the thing. It happens every year.
You answer me now, you swine.
Oh,
Let me
Frozen
refresh.
Uncrustable. And all you got is the Buck 110 handy.
I have one of those.
In Iraq, in Fallujah.
Okay, Buck, let's go.
Where is Abdullah bin al-Aswami? You answer me now. I like this. I like it. I'm about to nut.
What the fuck is this? Imagine being a terrorist. Tell us where he is. We're gonna nut on you. Cache.
Frozen Uncrustable. And all you got is the Buck 110 handy. I'll show you a cool trick I
I
learned in
actually
Iraq.
have that knife.
Fallujah.
Okay, Buck, let's go.
Where is Abdullah bin al-Aswami? You answer me now, you swine. I like this. I like it. I'm about to nut.
What the fuck is this? Imagine being a terrorist. Tell us where he is. We're gonna nut on you. Cache.
That is great.
Okay, I think we got time for one more. Let me get
Abdullah
that.
bin Swami.
I'm surprised it wasn't like Turka Muhammad Jihad.
I like how he's so serious. Where's
and our
Abdullah
vets
bin
weren't here.
Swami?
They're off
I
camera.
know, they're gone.
The reaction.
Let me get it pulled up here. Last one. This was supposed to be a mini segment for some furry cringe, kind of a palate cleansing.
Oh, what are you? That's
Whoa,
a palate
furry
cleanser.
cringe. Furry cringe is a palate cleanser. What the fuck is wrong with you people?
We are. Oh
is
god, I'm
funny.
getting sick already.
To get to know about me. I'll start with my name, my age, my height, my gender identity.
Oh my god.
Cause I just do this.
Why are you gay?
Oh my god.
It was funny to harass fursuiters. It really made my friend mad. Please be polite and respectful to anyone at the cons. This is unacceptable behavior.
No, kick their asses, please.
What
the
As a furry, I love to drink water out of a hamster water bottle because it confirms my identity.
This guy's whispering the same way Diesel has this whole stream.
That's because my mom's up there yelling at me when I get too loud.
I knew we were talking about those 35-year-olds that still live in their parents' basement. Yeah.
That's me.
Oh my
God. No. 40-something-year-old.
Yeah.
I did not mean to pause it right there, by the way.
Oh my god. Oh shit. We know.
Banana.
Gay!
What the fuck?
Yes, we know you've
Oh,
seen one up
what the
close. You
fuck?
don't need to prove it to us.
Oh my god.
Okay, how much longer?
Oh,
Oh no!
God.
Oh, that's still.
Ah, what?
Iron, what are you doing?
I didn't.
have a
This is
weird-
Jack.
why
We
do I
can
have a
thank
weird
Jack for
boner
this.
right now? This is so weird.
Jack, you
I have a
bastard.
weird boner right now.
This is like the ET porn.
Oh my god. Rule 34, you bastards.
No! Oh god!
Wait, so is that a minor fox?
I see one more TikTok of a half-naked boy staring at the camera, doing nothing, with the caption, "This took hours to make," with thousands of likes, I'm going to lose my marbles.
Oh, sick! Hell no!
What the dog doing?
Hell no.
Soda and what's a soda? I don't know what to do about this, guys. All right, one creamsicle fox.
Oh.
Thank you. Bye.
Oh, don't ruin the.
Not much, I'm not gonna lie.
They were playing the Tom Nook theme too. Damn it!
Oh my god!
There's the answer.
I love playing that clip. I love playing that.
My skull died.
Well, my
Oh,
face
they-
hurts.
yeah.
Yeah, that was all pretty funny.
Oh, their animal noises
And
just
on
make me
that-
sick.
Everything about furries are degenerate, man. It's just like it's like a sub level of degeneracy.
And I dare say, gotcha
Yes.
gamers are no better.
Oh Lord,
no man. Like I think what they were talking about FNT one night, they were talking about like every degenerate thing has like a sub level of like furry,
Ugh.
whatever
Yeah.
nasty degeneracy. There's a sub level of furry.
Every
to it.
circle of hell has subsections.
Yeah, man.
And
That little
furry's
store,
always there.
you have little Gap stores. You go into the mall at that certain level, and then you go down. Then there's like a Hot Topic, and then you go even further. It just gets worse and worse.
alrighty.
Oh,
Oh, so there we go.
All right, send us to the
Well,
abyss.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's go around the horn. Everybody want to? We're gonna save Diesel for last tonight. Me and him got a special announcement to give to everybody, and then so we'll start off with our special guest. Maybe a little bit of that. Somebody who's well versed in all things fellatio. CommonNerd, how you doing, man? Thanks for coming on tonight.
I have to admit, I am quite the cunnilinguist. I have to admit that. I have to open up with that out there right now.
Look at them highfalutin words.
all right, Pierce Brosnan.
Blaine's about to kick them off early.
Hey man, you gotta when you don't carry it in other areas, you got to make up for it somehow. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay,
Fair.
all right.
Fair.
So, you know what I mean?
Suddenly, I
but
don't want you
yeah.
to grab my ass anymore.
No, lies. You won't feel it. What are you complaining about? Come on, man. It'll be over before you know it. It'll be all right. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, baby.
I call this move the Cosby.
You want some of my secret sauce, Nemes?
He's got a pudding pop for you.
Pudding pop.
There's always room for Jello, boy.
Oh, bro.
Ooh.
If I get
Yes,
to
I
Vegas,
broke him. I broke him. Yes, I got him.
Jesse, if I get to Vegas next year, you better grab my ass. That's all I gotta say.
You know it. You
We are
know it.
begging for some sexual harassment, please.
See, I want to
single
know.
men
I have
need
this
it.
on record. It is all consensual, ladies and gentlemen. I am not going to get Cosby later down the road, okay? Or
Not
Gaiman,
that
I guess
attitude.
in this case. But anyway, yeah, no. The reason why I am slapstick retarded a little bit above normal. I am currently on the what hour are we on right now? Oh shit, I can't see anymore. Anyway, I started streaming at 11 a.m. and because I have a $5 Friday show, people get to pay me $5 and turn my show into it and make it go on for another 5 minutes. Yeah, we're currently at 11 hours and 30 minutes. So I'm going until 1 a.m. I dropped the link in the back side. In the private chat, if one of the mods or somebody like that wants to drop it in the next stream, I'm going to be playing Elden Ring till at least 1 a.m. But guess what? The rules are still going. The rules still apply. It is still Friday, so you can make my stream last even longer than that. As of right now, this is a record stream. 1 a.m. is the longest of $5 Fridays has ever ran. So come check that out. Come subscribe to my new YouTube channel, TheCommonNerds. We're almost 800 subscribers. If you're over on Rumble, come subscribe to the Rumble channel. We're almost 800 followers over there. I've got a little extra pocket change. I'd love for you to become a member. We are a fully fan-funded show. This is my full-time job. The only reason I got to Vegas is because people paid for me to get there. The only reason I am able to do all of this stuff full-time and continue to pump out as many videos as I do and do 13, 14, 15-hour streams because you guys pay me to. It's literally why I'm able to do all of this. So come check it out. We have a good time Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. I do the morning prep. It's your daily dose of pop culture news, gaming news. We go over trailers. We do all that kind of stuff. I don't care if they copyright claim me, eat my ass, come and watch them and have a good time. We'll react to them, roast them, and all that kind of stuff. I do gaming streams in the evenings. Sundays, we got the Bible study at 2 p.m. Sunday night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Myself, Mr. Grant Gregory, and the beautiful and wonderful and always likes to wear very low cleavage shirts, Sunker Maiden, joins us to review When Who Was Good. It's a nice palate cleanser from all of the nonsense I have to report on during the week with Disney, Doctor Who, and all that kind of stuff. Wednesdays, we have Winding Down Wednesdays, where we normally have a special guest. That's at 6 p.m. on Wednesday, Central Standard Time, where we normally, Diesel's on there, Tiny's there, a few other folks. We've got Christy from Flip City Magazine. Kitty Flips is now a permanent co-host over there as well. We always try to promote somebody independent. We try to bring on like a movie or creator or another content creator. We always try to have a special guest that we can promote somebody outside of the sphere. We love promoting independent comic books. Jason Sandberg's on there all the time as well. So yeah, I'm live all the time. Come over to Rumble, come over to YouTube, smash that notification bell. You will see me. You will be able to catch me all the time, anytime. Like I said, this is my full-time job. So Iron, brother, it's always good to hang out with you. Gorgeous Selena, who is far, far, Iron has way, way, way above his stature, but you were kind enough. You saw it in your heart to have enough empathy for such an ugly little man out there that you sweet on the inside. And you were like, that was enough for me. That was enough for me. I can take that. And just God bless you, girl, for taking one for the team. Absolutely. God bless you. And God bless the rest of y'all for putting up with his ass, because this shit is insane. And Professor Savage, Dad, I can't wait to see you again. And honestly, all the rest of you fuckers, it's going to be a great time. I don't know where we're going to be or what we're going to be doing next, but you guys are beautiful. You guys are wonderful. Come hang out with me. Help me finish off my $5 Fridays, at least until 1 a.m. God only knows if they push me any farther than that. We'll see what happens, but it'll be a good time. And watch me die a lot, because I suck at video games. So yeah.
All right, dude. Well, thanks for stopping in.
Jesse,
Good
brother,
having you.
always a
You're welcome.
pleasure.
Good to meet you, Common Nerd. You've been a riot.
You too. Thank
All
you.
right.
I try.
And don't forget to go follow Vagabond. He couldn't make it till the end. He's trying to survive a storm as we speak, but we'll check in with him later. Nemesystemic, what do you got going on this week, man?
I'm pretty much done for the week. Weekend's going to be pretty chill. And next Monday, we're going into trying to finish out the intro to the song all the way up to the build-up. Hopefully start on the drop next week, too.
Yeah.
We're looking to finish the first song under the new project name by the end of July. So it's a race against time at this point. Learning everything,
Awesome.
finding out what I've got hoarded in my freaking sound library that I've accumulated over the past 10 years and haven't taken a look at. I'm basically unraveling every day on stream. I'm losing my damn mind, but you know what? I'm having fun with it. So stop on by. You can find me at Nemesystemic on YouTube, or I am Nemesystemic on Twitch. I stream Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Eastern time.
Right
it is
on.
really cool
when I can, work permitted.
It's really cool to check him out. Like, he's literally like building a song, like just putting this puzzle together. It's I stepped in.
It's
there
entirely
for
a journey of going from nothing to something.
Man.
I'm learning everything as if a person was picking up music production and didn't know a goddamn thing about it. So while I do have some experience from back in college and as a teenager, now I'm basically just picking up the pieces from what was left off there and relearning music theory and basically showing you how you can do it as a new aspiring music producer with no guidance whatsoever. I'm reading books. I'm going over all the essential details, marking it down, sharing it with you all. So if you're interested in seeing how that journey goes, drop on by. If you just want to drop in, chat, I'm all for that too.
Yeah,
Awesome.
y'all check it out, man. It's dope.
Go check him out. Strider, what do you got going on, man?
Yes, well, my week is starting tomorrow because I'm going to be on Full Metal Nate's D&D stream. We're going to be doing the Curse of Strahd. We've been preparing this for months. I am super excited. My last D&D experience was not great, but we've just got our whole everything in the group chat. We had a couple introductory just stuff on some of the basics, and it was a lot of fun. I am really looking forward to this. Our characters are pretty awesome. So it's going to be me, Darnell, and Tiny, and I'm missing somebody. I'm gonna feel terrible about it later, but it's gonna be a blast, and it'll be tomorrow at, make sure I got the time right, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or I believe it's 4:30 at Central.
Real quick. I was in that group. Could you add me back in there? Because I was like listening. I see. I don't know anything about D&D, and I was going in there and checking that stuff out. And I'd like to check out something. I'm gonna check out some of the streams and stuff sometime, man. Like Nate, I talked to him after this show. No, it was after MSK's show for a couple hours one night, and he just broke down all of this stuff for me and just dropped some. It's cool. I didn't know. I'm noob. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna get sick. I actually don't know how to add people. I'm
or
technology.
or ask Nate
Yeah,
or
maybe
somebody
ask
if
Nate. I don't know.
if he gets a chance.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. It's just it's
You're
really
fine.
cool. I didn't know nothing about I didn't know nothing. Double negatives
Yeah.
in the South, man.
Yes, that'll be our the first one we've actually streamed tomorrow. It will be
Thanks,
right, Nate. If I'm correct, will be the first one we actually stream tomorrow, and so we're going to be doing some introductions of our characters. Well, he laughed at me when I actually suggested his introduction, so I don't know, but I am lubing up my ass cheeks, ready to get completely fucked in this whole thing, because he's just like. He's had this little
dude.
He is waiting for us to mess up so he can destroy us, and he's going to put us through the ringer, and it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be an adventure. And on Mondays you can catch me on an MSK stream. God knows what it's gonna be. God knows it's gonna be about on Monday. It's just I mean, who knows? It's just the world goes by real quick, and sometimes if you don't stop and check it out once in a while, you might miss it. So but we always have a good time over there, even though it's late for me. But yeah, but thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. I did just drop a review of the Kevin Costner Western Horizon American Saga Chapter 1.
Nice.
So you definitely go check that out. It is they do have spoilers contained, but I do what I always do. I have the first bit spoiler free, and then I give you ample warning when I go into spoilers. So if you don't want anything spoiled, and it's not a big spoiler heavy movie, but a lot of it's introduction. But I really enjoyed it. I think a lot of y'all will
That's
too.
what
So
I was
definitely-
wondering.
Yeah,
Man,
it's
good,
really
man.
it is really good. I really enjoyed it, and my buddy and I are big time history buffs, and so we really enjoyed it. It's just don't expect a climax, don't expect an ending. It's setting up a lot, and what it's setting up, I'm actually really excited about. If you want feminine women, if you want manly men, if you want actually non-politically correct depictions of the conflict between like settlers and Indians, there were bad people on both sides, but there also were some good people on both sides, because that's how human beings work, and that was kind of my point. And I really enjoyed it. Kevin Costner's not really in it all that much, so anyone calling it a vanity project is a liar. The performances are really great. The music is really great, but the cinematography, by God, that's what movie theaters are made for. Like it's all shot on location, all Utah, beautiful. So definitely go check
I'll give
that out.
Kevin Costner credit. He has a penchant for like the old West and the frontier days.
Yes,
So he's been trying to get this made before Dances
forever,
with Wolves.
man.
So
Yeah.
Dances with Wolves is considered like his career topping movie, right? Because it's a great
His
movie.
magnum opus.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was,
Magnum
but this is actually him. He wrote it and directed
is-
it. He's been trying to get this made since 1988. Dances with Wolves
Dang.
happened in
Oh, wow.
1990, right? Yeah, so he's been trying to get this done for a long time. And I mean, if you Yellowstone, when you're printing money being on Yellowstone, if you're willing to give up Yellowstone in order to do this, and also part 1 and 2 have already been greenlit. Part 3 is being filmed. Part 4 part 1 and 2 are already done. Part 2 premieres next month. Part 3 is being filmed, and Part 4 is being greenlit. It's been approved. It's been greenlit for productions. It's in production. So the studio has a lot of hope for this, and it got a 10-minute standing ovation at Cannes, and it's a 3-hour film, but it was still really good, and I can't wait to see where it goes.
Yeah, he dumped like what $35 million of his own money into it too, right?
He did, yes. And I don't know. So the budget says between 50 and 100 million, but I don't know if that's just for the first film, because they were filmed at the same time. So I'm assuming they're for 2 of them. So for 50 to 100 million for a 6-hour, probably going to be a 6-hour film, like 6-hour story. Damn, that's a good use of budget.
Yeah, hey, I gotta respect somebody that loves something that much. Like, you got to respect that, man. That's not somebody that's just doing something blowing at the wind, whatever woke nonsense or something. That's something
And
that they
it's-
do feel strongly about, man. So,
And it's
yeah,
an
I'm gonna
extremely
check it out.
it's an extremely important part of American history that we don't
is.
give enough attention to anymore.
It is.
Everything is all tied up in modernity and freaking.
What is
There's not a
what is it-
shred of modernity in this. There's not
What's
a
it-
shred of it. It is
What's it focused
everything
on?
that
It's
makes.
about?
There's a lot of different storylines. So there's 4 that I can remember. So there's a wagon train led by Luke Wilson, and that's going essentially all revolves around this town in the middle of Utah, I believe, or it's Utah. So it's gonna called Horizon. So that's gonna be kind of the linchpin. I think everybody's gonna end up at that town or the location, but it's changed hands multiple times because every time it gets settled, it gets burned down by the local Apache tribe. Which isn't a spoiler. We see it in the trailer. So we follow a mother and daughter who also, this isn't a spoiler, it's in the trailer, whose their family gets killed in an Indian raid and how they adjust to life afterwards. And it's played by Sienna Miller, who is just a stone cold fox. But then it has Kevin Costner's storyline, which he is caught up in. He is caught up in keeping a kid and a woman safe from this like inbred band of outlaw bastards. I'm assuming they're inbred because they're from like Upper Wyoming. That also crosses over to another story, Jenna Malone. She is escaping from said inbred family, and then there's there's also the Indian perspective. So there's a lot of that, which is refreshing because you get to see they don't shy away from it. There are the good Apache tribes, and they're like the good Apache factions and the bad Apache factions, and they are conflicted in and of them. They're conflicted even among their own ranks of how to deal with the new white settlers, and there are also some really bad stone cold bastards in the. As far as the white people go, there are some nasty savage murderers in the Apache tribes, but it doesn't play fast and loose with historical fact like every single woke production ever. So yeah, I think you'll really enjoy it. Just don't expect an ending. Don't expect a climax. It just stops.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Looking forward to that, man. Be sure and post the link when it drops so we can share it out and not.
Oh, it's already out. Yeah, it's already out.
Oh, okay. Right on. I'll get that. We'll put that in the chat real quick.
Yeah.
And Professor, what do you got going on, man?
Let's see here. On Tuesday nights, I'm hanging out with Devil over on Wrong Think. I'm doing MSK show Sunday nights, Wednesday nights here on Friday nights. As always, other than that, I'm still on hiatus with my stuff. I'm still working on personal life things, but I'm trying to keep up here with you guys because I do need an outlet from spending all day writing. Other than that, I'm going to be on Ballbusters right after this. Actually,
right on, dude.
Go jump over there because they're about 30 minutes in.
Man, I hate I missed
dude, you should. If you ever need to bounce early, always just let us know. It's not a big deal.
No worries. All right. So
catch
me over there, guys, and I will. We'll see y'all later.
Dude, I'm gonna catch your unboxing on the replay, brother. Have a good one.
Oh, dude, yeah.
All right.
I hate I missed that. Man.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Later.
Bye, Dad.
See you later, man. All right. Last thing we got to announce. I'm going to go ahead and bring Diesel on up here. All right. So we got a big show announcement. Diesel, do you want to give him the rundown or shall I?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, well, this is something that Iron and I have been talking about for a while. We're going to do a sci-fi show, man, with stuff that we enjoy. That's good, man. Like everything from like movies to television to like to action figures to any and everything on the outline. Like when I think of like science fiction, and I sent this to Iron the other day, I put the 1 minute, like it's a minute or so teaser for the movie Aliens. There's no talking through the whole thing. It just shows them all gearing up. And then I put the other one, which was the teaser I remember seeing, maybe it was in 1989, and it was the teaser for Terminator 2, and it's nothing but the T-800 factory where it just shows a building and welding on the endoskeleton, and then it puts it in the thing, and then it says cyborg tissue generation, that kind of thing. And it's just, there's so much stuff that's so good out there. I'd like to go over Terminator, the Sarah Connor Chronicles. That's a fantastic show. Or just have like, once a month we go over X-Files, man. X-Files is like, just great. Science fiction is something I'm so passionate about, man, because like being a scientist, and so much science fiction actually becomes science fact. What do we got here? This is even more high tech than a Star Trek communicator. I mean, this is a vid phone, if you need it to be. This is like straight out of every kind of science fiction thing you can think of. And it's not just that. I believe, what was it, Iron? We've got like it's action figures, having people, and we're talking about having people on so
what we're going to do, the two of us, once a week, we're going to revisit anything from current present to past science fiction from all different forms of media. It can be from movies, TV shows, anime, comic books, video games, even going into toys and collectibles. We'll bring in any guest we want for each topic throughout the week. It's not going to be exactly guest driven like this show. So it might just be an hour or two of just us between the two of us bullshitting, or we might bring in somebody that has an impressive collection that they want to showcase. Anything from old Star Wars to Star Trek collectibles. Bring in somebody with a little more knowledge of certain things. Maybe we mess like Andromeda, different shows like that. Somebody on Battlestar Galactica. We can hit pretty much all of those different talking points and just kind of really hit the member berries. But of course, if there is something big going in the news, a new trailer drops, anything like that, we'll definitely showcase it there. And instead of closing out on the regular, oh wait, go ahead, Selena.
What's the name of it?
I'm about to announce that right now. Instead of closing out on the normal outro, we're going to do a quick teaser of the intro for our new show, Space Jockeys, date and time to be determined. But we're going to end it up there. Anybody got anything last they want to say before we bounce out this tonight?
Yeah, I only got one thing to say to Diesel. Damn, it's about time.
One quick thing I was going to say, dude, when I get this healed up, and if I'm able to start back playing some, man, I'm gonna hit you up for some tips, maybe to make some audio intro music and stuff like that.
Shit, man, I'm gonna be asking you for I'm gonna ask you for live guitar samples. What are you talking about?
Dude, I have had in my head some guitar stuff, man. I was like not the greatest. I was like, mildly mediocre rhythm type stuff, man. But
hey, you know what? You know what's been helping me every day. Every day I go forth and I write a melody. I write a melody and a chord progression. That's the first thing I do, and I do that every day. And I've gone from taking over an hour doing that, and I'm down to 20 minutes. And I'm hoping to just even get faster than that.
That's dope, man. There's a few things that I've had in my head about guitar intros for some of the stuff, right? A show or two, man. And I've had a few things, because you only have to do something maybe a minute or two, and you can run a guitar loop, and given your insane producer skills, man, you could make that sound sick. Anyways, that's cool, man.
I appreciate the praise, but I know I could be better. So you're gonna see a lot more from me.
And that title is kick ass, by the way.
Jesse, you got anything else you want to close on before you get back to your how many more hours you got left? 2.5?
I'm going until 1 a.m. So yeah, I've got at least 2.5 hours. Don't forget you've got a couple of donations on Rumble.
Oh yeah, we do.
Yeah,
on Rumble Rant. Yep.
Oh, by the way, Jesse, my nephew was telling me he got up at 4 a.m. to take me to my surgery, and he was saying that it was him and it was somebody else. Maybe it was Alec Baldwin's finger, some other people. They were the ones that were like throwing it to you about the $5 Friday thing, man.
There was a couple of different people. It was them, and there was a few different people that came up with that idea. I'm trying to remember.
And look at it now, man. You're like, dude, you're like to 1 a.m. That's dope, dude.
Let's see, from Darmoth. I think I can pull this up here. Maybe not. Let me see.
No, Rumble. So with StreamYards won't pull up the Rumble rants, but if you copy and paste them like what I did, then you can highlight them that way. So that way you can still hide them. That's what I have to do that too.
And I apologize, guys. I'm only 22 episodes in, so still fairly new at this. So pulling it up right here. This is from Darmoth for $5. This is just in case you have the Common Nerd and
this is just cause you have Common Nerd on.
Oh, just cause, well, thank you. I'll take it. I'll probably ended up giving it back to Common Nerd before. And for $2, Darmoth also says, "What's up, people? How's it going?" I again apologize for not getting those sooner, guys. But we're gonna close out here. We're going way over, and again,
roll
we're
the
gonna
clip.
end it on the intro to Space Jockeys coming out hopefully the end of the month. So here we go. Have a good night, guys. Thanks for checking us out.
Night.